Hey, this is Oscar the Lawyer. You're listening to the LANCESCURV Show.
For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out.
Let's get a sound check. Welcome home, everyone. LANCESCURV live here once again. Sorry I'm a little tardy. Sorry I'm a little late. I'm not nobody's Superman. Yes, I am. To someone special and to most of you, I would try to always be that, even though I'm not that. Had another day today where, that 5 hours last night kind of sort of took it out of me. And I stayed up a little bit, went to sleep, got up a little too early, got up and washed up and ate a great breakfast and sat down on the side of the bed and fell out again. And woke up just in time to take a little walk at 6 p.m. Accra, Ghana time. Walked a little bit, whatever. And we looked around. Me and Mrs. SCURV were talking. I looked around just now. Well, she's in the bed asleep. I was like, wait a second, this is 11 o'clock. And I got a few text messages. Thank you so much for the text messages. Not that I wasn't going to do it. My time was thrown off. And those naps messed me up. It drizzled a little bit, and that was all she wrote. But I feel real good. Now, tonight is not going to be 5 hours. I have other stuff and other goodies to upload. But I do want to talk. And as you see, like, what is he talking about? I can't. What is he? SCURV is always a positive guy. What does he mean he can't? What does he mean that, what's going on here? Well, like I said, I came to a point within the last few hours and I've always been here. I've always been on that precipice where it was like this world. And I'm not looking at the fact that, he's 60 years old, because to me, that's not old, because I'm still me. I just been here a little bit before other people, right? I got into the Walmart checkout line a little earlier than you, so I'm a few steps to get from the checkout to the cashier before you, right? But I can't. And if you see the title that says, we live in a world where mental illness is normalized and most are scared to call it out. I'm not afraid to call it out. Now, when we have this true mental illness, the real true mental illness is when you're on the public transportation, you see somebody go, I'm not making fun of nobody, but okay, we got a problem here. But when you're going to look me square in the eye and tell me a story about a grandmother in the club fighting with the granddaughter. We've elevated this thing here now. It used to be the mama fighting with the daughter over a dude in the club. Ratchet. But now you got grandmothers fighting in the club with granddaughters. Well, where's the mama? I don't know. It's getting too crazy. Giant Gain, welcome. Yvonne, welcome. Sister Yala, welcome. Welcome. Broderick Enoch, welcome. Tyson, love is the message. Love is the message. Love is, what a jam. Wow, I'm here. And like I said, I would show my face, but I'm a little sweaty oil ball right about now. Reese just slipped in the door. I still got the sleepies on me. I'm sorry. But yeah, it's a strange world we're in. And we used to have a standard back in the day. A standard where we knew when we crossed the line. But now we have no standards anymore. It's normal and encouraged to cross the line. And if you try to execute that standard to anyone who wants to cross the line, then you're chastised. You should have the freedom to cross the line. You are free to live your best life no matter what anybody says. What happened to order? You see, when I say God, I don't mean just Christianity or Islam or Judaism. That's man's stuff. Because see, I never saw a reindeer or a deer or an alligator or a rabbit or a squirrel sitting up in church. They already know the natural order. I'm sorry if that term is like holy oil on a demon, but there is a natural order. What if the sun picked up and said, you know, I want to live my life the way I want to live it. I don't want to be stuck here with these planets circulating around me. I have the freedom to do what I want. You know what? I'm a moon now. I'm not the sun. I'm a moon. And I'm jealous of the moon that Earth has, so I'm going to move a little closer and hang out with my own orbit around the Earth as a moon. Well, guess what? The natural order of life would change forever because we'd be burned up. You think you can't take it in the summertime? Oh, we know who's going to burn up first. But the natural order will be burned up because you don't have the right here with the gift of life from something supreme, a supreme creator, a God force, the Most High, whatever you want to call it. Whatever you want to call it. It is what it is. It don't need you. It put you here. How dare you want to alter what is already there because somebody called the president or some counselor or some group told you it's all right to be yourself? No, it don't work like that. You didn't bring yourself here. You owe it. If you want to be on the highway of life, you better obey them double yellow lines. Yes, love is a message. Right. That's right. That's my day. I grew up. I mean, we could play that all day long and it still kicks because that's real music. This electronic, mind-controlled, signal-sending thing to the pineal gland to have us. Look, there's no way that this world that we're living in is anything but a bizarro world. And we're supposed to take everything we know of the natural order that serves us. It serves us. And we want to act like we have dominion over that. We ain't running nothing. Like I said, the highway of life. You go over those double yellow lines. It's just a matter of time. Matter of fact, cut your headlights off at night and go over to the other side of the traffic and see what happens. Rules on the road were there for a reason. Rules in society are there for a reason. Or you go on and cut the headlights out and go on and drive on the other side of the road and you tell me what happens. Go up a ramp where other traffic is entering, and you tell me what happens. And the end is swift. Many years ago, I was driving up I-95. I think I was in South Carolina. And in South Carolina, there's a point where there's maybe like 20 or 30 feet worth of forest in between the northbound and the southbound, but you can still see behind it. You can still see that there are other cars on the other side, but you're not, hustling to see it. You're trying to keep your eye on the road. But there are two lanes at that point. And there was an 18-wheeler that wasn't going as fast as it could have been going. And I wanted to go around it. Now, you know how sometimes you feel a little funny going past an 18-wheeler when you're at a certain speed? It wasn't going too slow. It could have gone a little faster. I wanted to get in front of it. And I was very tired. And up in front of me, the road kind of curved. It didn't turn sharp. It curved a little bit to the right. And so did the other side. So at that part where it began to curve, I saw the oncoming traffic on the other side through the trees. Well, as I decided to get over in that lane, the next lane over, going in the same direction, me being tired, and I'm pretty much of a good driver. I'm quite professional. I know when to stop and pull over. I don't drink at all, so I don't drink and drive like that. I'm seeing the lights from the oncoming traffic on the other side only because the road had turned and curved a little bit. So I looked down at my radio and I made an adjustment and looked up, and I realized what was in front of me wasn't the cars on the other side. These were straight up headlights, zooming and flying toward me. Thank whoever made me or whoever helped. I didn't move up to the side of the 18-wheeler because there would be nowhere for me to go. I quickly turned the wheel right. And as soon as I turned right the wheel to get back in the lane to put me behind the 18-wheeler that was in front of me now, the car zoomed by on my side in that lane that I was in. He was flying down. So I hit my brake a little bit because I knew the 18-wheeler was going to do the same, to look behind him to see what happened. Cars were flying off the road. Nobody hit him, but I could see by the way he hit the brake lights that he realized that he was on the wrong side of the road. See, in life, we can go on the wrong side of the road. It's called free will. We can do that. We can do whatever the hell we want to. But we have to realize if we break the rules in the rule book, it's just a matter of time before we have a head-on collision. And then what? Who are you going to blame? Don't open your mouth and tell me the devil busy. You can't claim that because you're not under that umbrella anymore. You ventured off to do what you want to do. So why is it that we're in a world, and who commanded this? Because it started so subtle, and those who are dealing with their own inner turmoil of mental illness want to put it on you. They want to put it on you. If you are confused about something, or if you have been traumatized about something, deal with it. Seek professional help. Come to someone and say, I need help. Don't tell me I'm speaking hate. Oh, you're hateful. No, I'm truthful because I'm not accepting the mess that you want to indulge in. I'm tired of these people. And y'all know what I'm talking about. If you saw the show yesterday and looked into the comment section and saw the comment that was there, go ahead and look at it. Maybe I'll show it. I'm not sure. But you have to kind of, in this world, tiptoe around those mental issues. If you get insulted, then I am proud and happy to be a straight, black, heterosexual male. And you know, oh man, correction, I'm not just a male. I was a male when I was born. But my mother and father helped to cultivate me into a man. And even then, I still needed more manhood training in life, but they gave me enough to get through. They gave me enough to not cross the double yellow line. Yeah, y'all saw it. You saw it. And you're going to bring this to me. And you're going to tell me that I'm speaking hate. When in actuality, me as a black man and you as a black person, I really don't know. I'm not putting anybody down. I don't know what y'all. But it's me who probably love you more than anybody in your circle. As a human being, as a black person. But don't come to me to put words in my mouth on who and what I am. Because I've talked to many who are struggling with things and they've been truthful with me. But you don't know me like that. If I was walking down the street and you were minding your business and a group of guys came upon you to beat you down, I'm not going to grab the camera. I'm going to get up in the middle of that bad boy. I'm not afraid of that kind of stuff. And right is right. But don't let these devils manipulate you against me because of the trauma that you had to deal with. If it really was trauma, I don't know. You're going to sum me up in just a mere paragraph and try to put it on me. Listen, I got my little mini issues, but I'm pretty much over the hump in this life with major things that I have going on. I might be a little too horny sometimes, but I'm heterosexual. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. And see, it's mental illness that's normalized. And when you come from the old school, and I would never think that I would have to say that. And some of us who are younger here in the chat room come from the root of the old school thinking. There are people I know that sniffed cocaine before, smoked weed, did angel dust, smoked crack. And I loved them. That was their struggle. My struggles might have been different. Back then in the day, I love women so much that it was like lust to the 18th power. But there was always love in my heart at the bottom, at the end of the day. See, so when you tell me that I'm hateful, what did I say that was hateful? Because I'm proud of who I am. When you straight and black and believe in family values and believe in, no, not believe, but you know it. And this is what you're pushing. The restoration of the black family, black empowerment, all that other stuff is not my fight. This platform is not about that. When you saw my brother come on the show, well, we replayed when he was speaking about how he was shot up and what he saw at the Pulse nightclub shooting. That was my home he was in. He brought a sister with him that happened to know me from the street driving the bus. And somehow in the jail too. But she was there as a guest and he was there as a guest, and they were there to speak about his experience. I didn't sit on the other side of the room and say, oh, you stay over there, crack the window so we can get some air, because I don't want to get no AIDS if you got it. Why would I say something like that? That's hateful. That was a black brother who happened to be what you call same gender loving, but that wasn't my business. My business was with him as a black man, and there in the scene got shot. And that's what we talked about, meaning that why the hell do I have to know what you do behind closed doors? And there's so many people who want to align the black struggle with this LGBTQ thing. So see, I said it now. I can't wait for the comments now. I'm sitting here like Popeye after I drank down a can of spinach. Bang! That's right. You want to align something that we can't hide. in the society, stopping us from getting jobs, stopping us from wanting to live where we want to live with this redlining. How they restructure political districts to keep us out, to get certain people in. How they shoot us down wholesale. And this thing just comes out where you call yourself this alphabet stuff and you want to align yourself with us. How do I know what you are? Why do I have to know what you are? Y'all don't have to know what I do in the bed? I'm probably wilder than you are in your category, but in my category. So what I'm saying is that, wait a second here, hold on a minute. Hold up, wait a minute. Let's see if this is gonna be. Yes, okay, right. I just saw a comment pop up, Master Glam. Yeah, I have. And we've had them on as they are. And we had an hour. I gotta pull that one up. I gotta find that one. So don't tell me I'm not fair. But see, what happens is many people say, oh, you need to have us or have someone. Are you representing a whole so-called community? How do you know? How do two gay men know each other? I mean, unless they're sashaying or up in each other's face. So don't come to me even with that community stuff, because lesbian, gay, bi, transgendered, transsexual, whatever it is, queer, and whatever the I is. I don't know about the I. But lesbian. Do all lesbians go for the transgender thing, this transsexual thing? So don't make it seem like you're some big mighty group lumped in. Do gay men who are on the down low want to be politically out there? No, they like doing that stuff. They marry, they creep it home, bringing diseases home. Yes, you are. Because you playing around in some next man's butt and you're going to come kiss your wife on the mouth. If you don't like that, thumbs it down and be mad. Is that hate? That's just what it is. Am I supposed to like that? You might be a nice person. I might defend you from getting beat down by a mob, but I'm not agreeing with that. Do I hate you? No. So somebody gonna run, oh, you talking hate speech. Well, if they do that to me now, I got a problem with YouTube, because I have a right to have my perspectives. If I'm hateful of a person and you getting beat down, I whip up the camera, whip it out and say, yeah, go ahead, beat him down. And I go videotape it. That's hateful. I would never see anybody do anything wrong to a human being. But if you out there and you touching some straight man's crotch in public and you get a beat down, oh, well, you took a risk and you did it. I'm not defending that. I'm not going to stop nobody from doing something to you. It's so disrespectful that I can't be me as I am from the root. And people want to come and tell me that I'm hateful because I ain't going for your mess. No, I'm not dealing with your mental illness. I'm not going to make myself mentally ill conforming to your thing out of control. Why do I have to wear size 6 shoes and I got a size 12 foot? Why? I'm going to do what's most comfortable for me. You do what is most comfortable for you. And I don't have to see it all out in the street. Anything sexual, keep it behind closed doors. But usually there is some kind of trauma. Usually. And this is not all of them, because them, it's not one big group. But they used the black community. They wanted some of us to side with them. See, we go through similar things. It's the same. And some of us who are foolish took a break from being black and said, well, you know, they have a point. Let's support them. And those who are in that, who are black, don't you know how racist those people are who claim to be something like you, which they can never be, but you don't know that? You sitting up in the zoo as a pig amongst monkeys and you think you're the same. I don't understand it. Because here you are finding a way that usually you don't want to be black. You're going to try to find some way to be up with them. And you finally found the way. If I'm gay, if I'm lesbian, they'll embrace me because I'm fighting for lesbian and gay rights. But when them bastards see you with your brothers or your sisters in your neighborhood, your black neighborhood, I don't see no rainbow flags flying. Oh, we got to help the sister. She supported us. They're nowhere in sight. So be black first, because that's all they see you as. Just so they can say, we have some of those in our organization, and you so glad to swap spit with them. You so glad. If you doing your thing, at least behind closed doors, lesbians, do it with a black woman. Damn. That's rule book 101. I'm not saying yay or nay. And I've seen a lot of that behind closed doors. Right in my face, right there with it. But I'm saying no. Like Martin, but I'm saying no. If you would do that, and look, we have a standard. Don't come at me and tell me, well, it's always been that way. Of course it has. We know that. Way back from the Sodom and Gomorrah days, even if they say everything in the Bible is an allegory, it's not, it's just, well, they knew about that back then, now did they? So they had to have it. Didn't want the young girls, wanted the other male people, the other men in there. That is not love. That is a twisted lust. And you want to flip it around me and call my thing hate? Well, I'm calling your thing lust. Because love procreates. Ain't nothing coming out of that kind of lust. When a man is with a woman and he loves her, barring the fact that maybe right now you don't want to have kids, so you do whatever you can with birth control, we understand that. But when you love that person, you know, things happen, circumstances happen that don't work out. But when you love that woman, and you're going to take care of that woman, not to insult women who are independent, who are doing it for themselves, but still want a man. I'm just saying, when you a man, you want to take care of that woman. There ain't nothing more sacred than that. And you're inside of her and you're making love to her and you're promising things that you intend to keep. Not no sweet nothings just to get a nut. And the time comes for you to wake up early in the morning and you know you got a good woman laying in that bed for you, yours. And you go to work like Superman. And no matter what it takes, you do what you have to do to make that money. And yes, you might aspire to do a business of your own, but you're in between that. Your time is spread, but you have it in your heart to give her everything. There's no amount of twisted lust that can whip that feeling. And then when you get that paycheck and it comes in the mail or you go get it or it's direct deposit. Sure, you made the money, but it's just as much hers. Now we got these situations where we have these pairings that are twisting up how business is done. Well, you can get your partner can get your pension, all this stuff, bankrupting stuff the way it is. And we got twisted doctors and scientists now. You know, and we said this last night when they encourage you to get these hysterectomies. Where are they going with that? Can it be like the time when I was a kid and bought a pair of sneakers and you take the old sneakers and put it in a box so I could take it home? Where you going with my sneakers? They old, but they're mine. Where you going with my sister's womb? What are you going to do with it? There's some twisted dude taking female hormones to shove that womb up inside of them. To do what? Now you want to make them have babies? Hell, you put a heart in a different body, it's going to reject it. So now you're going to do this up in a man? And you get men competing against female athletes who are serious about their craft, and you're going to let a man go up in there, throw a wig on, keep his penis, Put a little makeup on. I'm identifying as a man. This is mental sickness. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're going to make me say, get the up out of here. That's mental illness. And we're going to go along and we're going to bend the rules for that. We're going to bend the double yellow line.
It's okay to drive on the other side.
But when you have that head-on collision, who are you going to come to? This is a sick world. And this is why more and more I'm very much present. And in me being very much present, I can't help but speak my mind. I don't have a size 12 foot and a size 6 shoe. Never for nobody. I'm not going to hate anybody unless you give me a reason to. If you rape my daughter, punch my wife in the face, we got a problem. But as long as you do what you do, and maybe I might have a hint of it, but that's behind your closed doors. Rights? We still don't have rights that are honored as black people in this country and all over the world. And they're always plotting and planning to keep us on the bottom. And that's not no victim mentality. That's a fact. To the point when they see you successfully navigating their wicked system, they look at you like a ghost. Like, how in the hell are you surviving? Because we know the minefields that we put out there for you to step on, and you still here? How that Negro 60 years old and still talking like this, strong? You might get me at 85, maybe 87. I don't know. I'll be a little weaker by then. But there's so much injustice that I've seen and so much coonery that I've seen. And now we got to deal with this. And like the title of the show says, I can't. I didn't get to this point, y'all, to say I'm getting a little piece of retirement, to still have a little juice of youth in my fruit, to now have to deal with this. Hell to the no. Don't bring me that foolishness. And you got that dude, Gates, Bill, wanting to reach out and go back with hitting everybody in Africa with a jab. And we're going to make sure now to comb through every country and to comb through every village. Well, why the hell you don't start out in Europe? Why don't you go all through Russia? Why don't you go in them Chechekistan's countries? I don't know. Every day I'm seeing a different Chechikistan. Fried chicken Chechikistan. Honey biscuit Chechikistan. Homosexual Chechikistan. How many countries you got with that name? That look on the map and get confused. Why don't you start over there? Why don't you comb through all the people who are patriotic, who want to follow that mess? Why you got to come to Africa? What you got? Look, you come to me. Look, if he's coming out personally, yeah, that's going to be a beat down, and we're going to videotape that. Because you ain't putting that stuff in me. And you don't give a damn about me. You've done nothing but experiment on our people and try to do slide things to kill us off with all them other people that you deal with. And you want to front, well, World Health, you know that WHO, and he owns 88% of that, propped up. And where's the other one? That little mouse looking with the big ears, Fossey. Where the hell is he hiding? Don't let me see him at the restaurant. I'm going to choke him in his own bowl of soup. They'll lock me up for a couple days, but we'll get some revenge that way. I'm going to dig one of them eyes out, whatever. These are wicked people pulling strings. And again, not to be repetitious, but somebody doesn't like nature as it is. And those of us who partake in the twisted lust that's very much real on that spiritual level, demonic level. Yes, I said it. Certain things they called mental illness before, they don't call it that now. Well, why don't they go ahead and change a few things and say, we'll consider felonies a misdemeanor. Oh, my knuckles gonna be bruised up that day because I'm gonna find some people I need to punch straight in the face. Hey, lock them up, call the cops. Hey, I might get a night or two in jail, but it's not a felony anymore. They bend rules. But you can't bend certain rules. You throw something up, it's going to come down. Gravity. You keep having sex with no protection, even that clear stuff will get you in trouble. Period. Gone. Exclamation point gone. Question mark, everything gone. My friend didn't come around. Oh my God, what are we going to do? Negro, you should have thought about that. But see, we don't think about other things either. We're skedaddling all through the world, distracted and pushing our head in the sand, and don't want to see what's going on in this trajectory, this deadly trajectory that's going against all things natural. There just might come a time when they're going to force this thing on us where, oh, you filled this list out, this survey, and it says here you're heterosexual. Yes, I'm a straight black man. Well, have you ever engaged in any homosexual activity? No. Do you plan on engaging in any homosexual activity? No, sir. Well, Brad, come on, let's lock him up. Put him in. Hey, what? Well, we have to indoctrinate you because everybody that is straight, that doesn't like that kind of stuff, we must force you to have that type of sex so you can understand. You think the Incredible Hulk was the only one who could break out of handcuffs? You'll see me. What? Who knows? Because see, with black people, if these things are shot up into us in the motherland, because I mean, every time you look, there's a new baby being born. You see the videos I put up. It was a little too dark to do a walk and talk today. We walked out, it was already dark, so I didn't leave the camera home. And since I got this nice new little phone, I could have still took something if I saw it. But why Africa? They don't want us here on the richest soil. And so many of us who are in the mental illness of denial of who we are. As rich as this soil is, I would want to have something to do with it. Now, it's not for everybody to up and leave because many can't right now. I understand that. We have members of our family who may need care. They're elderly and special needs children and adults and children, and our job is there. We may not have the savings. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that I'm already over here. And if you want to just get the plane ticket, you can come hang out with me. And I mean that. Now, this ain't for everybody because you got some nutcases out there. You can't go to sleep. You wake up and they slicing you up. You remember that story? I went through that. Never again with that. But we don't want anything to do with the land. And we know as Americans, we have every right to the land that's there. Yes, because we built this country. But what are the rules they and the laws they are saying about that? As we are viewed as 3/5. And for those who say that you're not African and you're just all this mental illness, they pull you over. They don't say, are you indigenous? Are you African? Are you Methodist or Baptist? Or they don't, you a nigger. And you're going to punch that white man's clock. And you ain't going to come with that stuff. And I'm not knocking anybody who has a job. I've had jobs all my life and punched many a white man clock. You think I liked it? No, but I had a plan of escape. It might have took a little longer than usual. Might have got out kind of late in the game. Didn't get out in my 20s, my 30s, my 40s, but kind of in my late 50s. But I did it. Whatever your plan is, work it. Don't fall for the delusions. Don't be coaxed into a life of mental illness because they say it's okay. Back in the day when I was ripping and running, I had things I liked to do. We'll say that. There were pleasures I loved to explore. And I ripped and ran until I was like, what the hell am I doing? I'm killing myself. Ain't that much pleasure in the world. Like Richard Pryor when he did the stage show and he was talking about the monkey who was having sex. And he went wild out in the forest. Until he saw the monkey. The monkey was like, meaning that he was all F-U-C-K'd out. Unbelievable. But we'll embrace that even more. And look at that. I just took a peek into the chat room. When I'm flowing, I kind of don't do that all the time. But I'm taking this peek. Daxter Clark in the house. Gabriel Union, damn. What a damn shame she is. And Wade is pathetic for letting this stuff happen to his son. And he signed off on it, Dexter. It's not like, you know, a car happened to hit me and knock me down. This joker is happy about this. If he played with me in the time that he was playing basketball all those years and he ended up being that, I'm opening my mouth. I might smack him in the mouth. And they talk about they worry about child abuse. And there are real instances out here of child abuse. Now, we know that is also. But look how the world is applauding this very public instance of child abuse and mental illness, signing off and applauding them as parents. But there's some frustrated mama in the hood who's working 2 jobs, who has a few kids, and maybe she smacks her son on the butt a little too hard, and they want to take your child. And them same people will turn around and say, yes, you have very loving and supporting parents, so that by the time you're 18, your dick can get cut off. Why aren't the Caucasians, they doing it, but focus on them with that, push that mess on them. We got to be the face of mental illness across the board. But look how sick that is. Yo, TD Jakes, we know you used to give men head back in the day. You admitted that. And your son played around too, got caught in that park, picking up whatever. But are you going to be quiet on this? Why are you so quiet on this? Joel Osteen, Creflo Dollar, all of them. Hey, listen, I love my man Farrakhan, right? Have we heard him say anything? I'm questioning everybody. And here I am on my little YouTube channel saying what I know, what it is, what's right, man. There's right and wrong in this world. Everything ain't right. Everything ain't right. And you got to know what that standard is. You got to know what that double yellow line is to not cross. You may want to do it, whatever it may be. Hell, there's a whole lot more things when I was younger and coming up in a few years that I wanted to do. Damn, I'd love to do that. I'd love to do this. Hey, when I was a competitive bodybuilder, there's a whole lot of food I wanted to eat. But I sacrificed because I wanted to achieve something. And I did. Nobody granted me something because I ate up all this bad food and was smooth and fat. Had some muscle and give me a trophy for that? No. And this is a placement exam. This life is an assessment test. I'm convinced because the bad boy goes by too fast. This is an assessment test for your placement in eternity. And I ain't talking about you're going to go to heaven with the white angel. I ain't talking about that. Something with this life. We are separating ourselves from certain things and showing growth. We better leave up out of here better than what we came in. Now, we came in pure. We might have some remnants of our prior existence because, that child been here before. That child got an old soul. Well, look, if I have to come back and do this over again, whatever I am, I'm so militant, I'm going to be militant in what I do. If I came back as a white boy, I'm helping out black folk. You're not going to stop my essence, my energy. It's too strong. There's a whole lot of things I could be doing right now, Miss SCURV fast asleep and these chicks around here. I'm not doing it because I know I need to be placed properly. I don't want to be the sperm that didn't hit the egg. See, we all want out to get here. We're all of us are that sperm that hit that egg. We're the winners. We got this far. But symbolically, once again, we're sperm. There's billions of us on this planet. But the beauty is, we all have the opportunity to hit the egg if we do right. There's not just one egg. We'd be in trouble. But we have a head. We have thoughts. We have a direction that we can go into. the straighter we fly is the shorter distance there is. If you want to go left, you want to go right, like they say, the shortest distance between two spaces, two places, is a straight line. So when you see you're fighting somebody who's looping their punches, you just keep your defense tight and throw straight punches. It'll get there faster. That's a fact. So if I want to get to where I'm going faster and elevate even higher, I need to walk the straight and narrow. But as a straight, black, heterosexual man, I can get the pleasures that I want all I want, because if I do it within a certain confine, following the rules, that's the good part about it. So why are you diluting your existence with these things that are going to die and you won't get yourself anywhere? You won't elevate your essence. I'm not talking religion, but you want to come at me now and say, oh, you know, this kind of thing is wrong, and it's wrong for you to hate and wrong for you to do this and that. You got to tell it like it is. How am I going to be an artist and lie to a person with the portrait that I did? I told you about the fat lady that I'm not throwing off on anybody who got extra weight. This lady was about 400 pounds. And she wanted me to do a portrait of her, a nude nonetheless. And she covered up her stomach and stuff, some little stuff. You know, she let her titty hang out, and most of it was out, pubic hair a little bit, but the belly was covered. I drew what I saw. I drew what I saw. And when I was done, and even before I was done, she was, I don't know. Well, I'm going to do what's true and what it is. And she laid back in that position. I finished it up when she saw it, because I really didn't want her to see it at all until I was done. She was so angry. I am not going to pay you for this. I am not. Oh, no. You're delusional. You'd feel better if you face what you're facing and deal with it so it's not mental baggage on you. And you can think clearer now. You think through the holiday season you're going to feel good at the January 1st if you've been stuffing it ever since Thanksgiving came around? Hey, man, I go to the bathroom, bro, man. It's like everything don't come out. You so stuffed with stuff. You're probably stuffed with food from 3 years ago at Thanksgiving. Face the problem. Stop lying to yourself. Work on yourself. That's what we're here to do. But whatever's right, that entity who doesn't like all things natural tells you it is right. You can do it. Go ahead. Do this. So now we have a world that glorifies black parents mutilating and shooting hormones in them and letting them wear dress. You gonna let your mental sickness go in on a child? What if I, as somebody who is not as known as them, Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union, took it upon myself, if I had a male child, to say, well, I'm just doing this, and the authorities would be, wait a second, what is going on with your child? Well, I'm shooting female hormones in him, and we're going to mutilate, castrate him because he wants to be a woman. Oh no, that child is underage. How do they pass that? And a lot of us out here are punks because we ain't going to say nothing about it. I don't want to lose my job. I'm not saying go to your job on your lunch break and sit up and, put on a black glove, or your fist and say it. You know how to navigate. But when you're really, really faced with it, a lot of us punk out. That's why I'm so glad that I got such a good team and family here with me. It's You're right. You're right, oh young. I just took a look. Hold on. Let me show this. January 1st, when so many people start their so-called New Year's resolution that lasts 1 week. That's right. That's right. Okay, yeah. Oh, why was she ashamed? Yeah. Well, I mean, like, she was delusional. She had pictures of herself up on a little wall, and she was slim and so pretty. But she did not want to see herself that way. No, why would anybody want to see themselves that way? I don't look the way I used to. You know, I still feel I can get to a similar, you know, I know the tricks, I know my body, but I'm not going to sit here and get mad when I don't look exactly like that. And there's more to life than that. You know? Let me see here, raw reality. If Dr. Khalid Muhammad was still alive, he'd be raising hell about all of this shit that is going on. Oh my God, yes. And that's why they had to get rid of him, because them so-called wicked powers that be knew what they were coming with. You think this is not planned? It's so bad now that a lot of homosexuals are not even arguing. Oh, it's not an agenda. It's not an agenda. They shutting up on that now because they can see it's going too far. You see? Mental illness never shows on the outside because it's mental. Exactly. Exactly. Mugbillion said, are you going to speak on what's going on with the Kenyan president and how they are pressuring him to let that LGBT, are you talking about Uganda or Kenya? Because they're trying to get all of the what's the name? The vice president came over here to Ghana with that mess. Are you talking about Uganda? Because I already talked about that already. And there's certain things I'm going to miss, you know, because I have days I got things to do and I say, man, I got to talk about that. And it just never happens. So that's why I'm going to start doing a lot of shorter 10, 15-minute rants that I just throw up with a banner. And if there's anything really and truly, show it to me, send it to me. The contact information is going to scroll below, and I'll try my best to do it. Today, I took my microphone and I talked for 10 minutes on something. I'm going to do a lot of those. I can do 5 or 6 of those a day, maybe 10, and do my show in the evening, you know? Yeah, there are quite a few of them folks at my plantation, European males, and they know I don't care for them, so they stay away from me just the way they should. Damn right. And I know that you, let me see here. Kenya said, no wonder if they will let the pressure get to them. Wow. Miss Baby Powder, who I used to work with driving the bus. Whoever was on that show, I know a few were there. And she was saying how it was a lot of drivers, about 400 or 500 drivers that we had at that company. And then most of them were saying, no, that guy Lance is weird. They can't say I did anything weird. They just said I was weird because I stayed away from the bullshit. I very seldom went into the break room because there was another hallway to go around it when we were downtown and when we were up at the base where all the buses were parked, right? I never went in there unless I had to. Never. Everybody in there gossiping. The dudes talking about all the girls on the bus route who they screwing. Some of the females talking about the guys they dealing with, where they get money from and all. I had no part about that. A lot of them chicks, they like me too. But they were like, nah, he a little weird. He got it going on for his age, but he's weird. And a lot of them were listening to the show. So you knew how I stood, but they felt my essence. They felt my conviction. I didn't even let my eyes go nowhere where it shouldn't be. It was right to the not the break room, to the bathroom, to the locker room, and back to my bus. I didn't play that. And them old racist white supervisors and the coons, some of them, not all of them, but they knew I did not play. I would correct them. Like I told you about the guy who, Puerto Rican guy, but you know, he was one of the Puerto Rican guys now. He's white now because he's in Central Florida and bought a house. And, you know, he used to be law enforcement in the Marines. And so, no, you're a nigger now. But when they living up in the Bronx, the South Bronx, in New York City back in the day, broken poor, living next door amongst black people, bro, we one people, man. We gotta, yeah. And then any Latino, Hispanic, whatever you want to call them, that'll listen to this, you know it's true. There's some who will ride out with you to the end, to the wheels fall off. And some of them will get around white folks, living with them as neighbors, and the white folks don't like them neither, but we're going to use you as a dookie stick to the black people. There's one who used to harass me, and I knew how to get up in his face, even under the cameras. And I spoke on the radio in every single bus in motion, and supervisors who were at home who had to keep their radios on when they were awake, just in case. Now you cut it off when you sleep. They'll call you. They all heard it. They all heard it. They couldn't say a damn thing to me to say, oh, we're going to fire you for that. Because they knew what was going on. I spoke to enough people and I told them, since nobody seems to be doing anything, I'm going to speak to him and straighten him out in a way that you can't fire me. This is why they kept trying to throw other kind of violations on me. And she will tell you that, my coworker, who is just as outspoken, because they've been trying to get to her for years. The last straw was when somebody hit me who was drunk. Hit the bus. I was within my right driving it. I never caused an accident in my life, no matter what I drove. I have to say, you don't know it? Go out to Orlando and ask about me on the 21, the most intense bus route in all of Orlando, going through all the hoods and some of the tourist areas, and you're always going to be late, but I always came back on time. Never had no fights. I knew how to handle it and de-escalate certain things without bugging certain supervisors. They blame me for that accident. And the one cop that came first, who's supposed to stay there because it was Florida Highway Patrol, who ultimately handles it, he left and let the drunk guy stay there. And so when the Florida Highway Patrol came, they're like, where is the cop? Because, see, in court, he could have said, well, I just started drinking after the cop left. No. So he got a break, and they blame me for that accident and tried to put violations. I said, you know what? Ghana, here I come. Not just because of that. It was already planned. Didn't want to give me the time and all these little violations following behind me when I'm driving. Come on, man, don't do that. You know I'm a professional. I know what it is, though. And I did not play with any one of them. I feel threatened when I get around Mr. SCURV. I feel like he's going to do something. That's your own damn guilt, because what you're talking like men with their little bitch assness. Like I said before, and I say it again. These dudes, oh man, them bitches ain't shit. And you talking about a woman like that? You don't know who she is? The whole bitch thing is a spirit. It is not relegated to just women alone. I will say the majority of what you call a bitch, they got penises hanging down between their legs because they can't keep their damn mouth shut. Do you know, I'm not saying I know a lot when I say this. I'm saying, do you know how much I know into people's personal lives of what they share with me? You don't see me getting up on the show, yeah, so-and-so told me this and so-and-so told me that. If I was to reveal the things I know, marriages would be broken up. Murders would be committed. Trust me, I don't get down like that. Some things that are told to me, now I'll tell Miss SCURV some things. And a lot of times she don't want to hear it. Important things where we have to intervene to help somebody. Those are the things we'll speak about. Like when she told you on the show, I was driving on the bus and we saw these folks who are homeless, but they weren't in the homeless area and they were jacked up. And I know we had all these comforters and pillows and stacked up women's napkins and things and aspirin and different, which you know it shouldn't be taking aspirin now, right? But things that can help sustain them. And we packed up 2 vehicles, trunk, back seat, the seat next to me, all in my neck, on my face. I had to open up the window and drive sideways, just stick my head out. In the other car, we headed the same way too. And we were happy to do that. I will tell on that. I won't say names or whatever, but yeah, but people confide. I get emails, long emails. So I don't have that in me because they would be calling me out in the comment section for sure. And you have people who play games. You gonna have it after this. Yeah, Lance, you said they're gonna make stuff up just to say something. They're gonna say something. Okay, come on the show and show your face. You know I'll get down like that. Show your face and tell me what happened. Show your face and tell me your name. You don't even have to show the world your credentials. Show me who you are. Hold up your license and let me see it. I'm in another country. I'm not going to come get you for no reason, but I'm going to remember that bad boy. And if you lie, I'm going to search you and I'm going to blow you up. This is not an easy game to play. It's not a game for me. You understand? So there'll be more arrows shot my way. Oh, I thought you were better than that. You're so hateful. You do what you want to do. You do what you want to do. I don't hate you. But you're not going to make me bend from who I am. People want to always push, well, this is who I am. Well, damn it, this is who I am. And this is who I've always been. And there are rules to living in this universe. And you're not going to change nature with your mental illness. Don't be mad at me for calling it out. Listen, if I exhibit any signs of mental illness, I will consider you a loving friend if you can point it out to me. Well, Lance, you're doing a lot of these shows and it's kind of wearing you down. And we saw you walking down the street and your behavior was a little bizarre. So can we talk to you out of love? Nobody likes it, but I'll be the first one to submit. You understand? This universe is perfectly balanced. How dare you think a few little European whoever, and some of us who agree with certain things, are going to change the course of nature? You ain't going to do it. And I had some things forwarded to me that were quite graphic. Things I didn't know. How they take the flesh off the side of the leg and they showed the pictures. I'm going to put it up in the forum. I didn't get the other forum set up, but I'm going to put it up on the one on LANCESCURV.com. I got to take it off of Twitter, or take it off the WhatsApp and put it in there so you can see it. Why would anybody want to do something like that? And when you getting this fake penis put on you, it works partially. And you got to continue to take certain things because the body's rejecting it. And they don't tell you that most of the time, the overwhelming majority after a while regret that they did it. Somebody hates nature. Somebody hates the God force. Somebody hates it. If you hate nature, you can never be a friend of mine. Get away from me, because that's what it's telling me, right? If you're a person out here who's murdering people, well, I ain't murdering black people. It's just a matter of time before you do that, right? Oh, by all means, defend yourself. I'm not weak in that behalf. My mind is right when it comes to that. You coming to kill me and I get you first? Oh, well. I swear it. I'm nuts. Righteously nuts, not mental illness nuts. But if you are an enemy of mine or reveal yourself to be an enemy and you coming for me and I give you back the same treatment, I am not going to miss a night of sleep, a good meal, and an orgasm. Oh no, you're not that important in my life. If you coming to snuff all this out when there's so many people out here that I love and that love me and that depend on me in my inner circle. So don't get it twisted. I'm a nice guy. I'll give my life for you. I'll give the shirt off my back. I'll give you my last. I'm not going to sit there and let you kill me and kill the minds and the mental health of those around me. Let you get away with this little stuff. No, I'm going to call it out. And if you don't listen, well, that's on you. You're mentally ill if you listen to the news in the morning time where they got the Doppler radar and they got this, they got that, and they tell you it's a 100% chance of rain. I ain't listening to him. I'm not saying their technology is always right, but they're telling you it's 100%, and you see it overcast outside and clouds all around, even without that. And you don't bring your umbrella and things to wear, your little poncho or whatever it is that you may need to get from point A to point B after you get out your car or the bus or the train or the taxi or the Uber or the Lyft or whatever it is. And you don't listen and you get wet, what you gonna do? Cuss out the weatherman? Cuss out the person who's telling you what's up so you can have a better life, a more comfortable life? Well, maybe I might be that guy. Maybe you don't like the way I serve it up. But if I had to give up the technology of today to go back, I'm not living in the past. I love my past because I continue to learn lessons from it. I go back in time and there's truth that comes to me from people who have talked to me, from bad situations that I've been in to let me know where not to go and what not to do in the present. I meditate on the past a lot. I'm not stuck there. Because my present is rewarding because I'm going after something right now. I'm trying to achieve this goal right now. We basically have already. And there's so much more to achieve after that. I'm not looking back. I'm like McFadden and Whitehead. Ain't no stopping us now. There's been so many things that's held us down. But now it looks like things are finally coming around. When I see a hater come around me, I say, oh, hell no. You better get your ass away from me, because I'm going to buckle up my fists and clench them up. I can't sing, y'all. That's why I try to sing. I make y'all laugh. No, but seriously, imagine that. Not at this point. Just like they say, don't you let nothing stand in your way. Hey, at 60 years old, I'm going to sit here. Well, I must negotiate and take time with these people around me who don't like me. No, get the earth away from me. I know you don't like me. I ain't got no time to waste. You know how it is. You got a big pocket full of money. You dropping nickels and dimes and quarters falling out your pocket between the cushions on the couch. You don't care, no problem. You tip bigger. You driving, you got change in the ashtray. Then you broke. Now you're looking. Oh my God, the bank account, it's overdrawn. I got to get to work. I ain't got no money, no gas. Got to take public transportation. You looking between the cushions of the couch. You're looking under the couch to see what rolled up under there. You digging your hand in that little slimy ashtray that it's stuck down there. You pulling out them coins, and you realize you got just enough to get to work. Well, look at us. We take this artificial thing called time for granted. Yes, it's not real. On the spiritual realm, time is not real. This measurement of time. But since it's artificial, but very real on this level, I have none of that to waste. I have none of that to waste. So I'm not negotiating with something I know I'm not even down for. I'm in a restaurant and I know I don't like that certain food on the menu. Try it, so-and-so. Certain things I know I might try. But when I know I think it's nasty and I tried before, no, it's seasoned a little different. Don't waste my time. This is what I want. Got to give them what they want. Got to give them what they need. Fight the power. You know yourself by now. They say the brain takes about 25 years before it's fully developed. So if you're over 25 years, you've had 25 years to be with yourself, to know yourself. You know yourself so well that even when you pass gas, you don't get mad at yourself. You know that smell already. You breathe normal. When you on the public transportation or waiting in line to get your stuff checked out by the cashier and something, nasty. Oh, stink. And yours might be worse, but you're used to it because you had yourself to yourself all your life. So you should know yourself. And when you know yourself, and you're not struggling with something that is classified under mental illness, although they removed the double yellow line already, then you should have no problem. I know myself. I'm not doing it. I'm not bringing myself to lose what I've gained so far. There's a woman down the block. Drop dead gorgeous, always flirting with me. Do you think I'll walk past where she sells her stuff? No, I'm not putting myself in that situation. Because I know 40 years ago, maybe 20, it would have been a wrap. So why would I put myself in that situation? I'm still human, but I'm not a dumb sperm. I'm trying to hit that egg that I know I can hit. So I'm not going to veer left or veer right. I got to keep on the straight and narrow. I'm almost there. I don't want to be almost there as far as like check it out. You know what I mean? But I'm closer to that than when I was 5 years old, than when I was 10 years old, since I know I made it this far. However far I have to go, I want to win. So many people have lost out on their victories in life, and they quit right before the finish line. Ain't that something? How frustrating that must be. How frustrating that must be. I remember back in the day, I think it was 1990, if I'm correct, we had a fighter called Meldrick Taylor out of Philadelphia. And he was part of the Olympic team, I believe, from '84, where Holyfield was and Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker was. I said Sweet Tea. That was a local rapper in Queens back in the day. She's a cute little girl. He was fighting Julio Cesar Chavez, who up to that point was unbeatable and strong. And yeah, Julio Cesar Chavez and him got into a hell of a war. But he had that man beat. And it was under the 10-second mark where you hear that buzzer go off, that Julio Cesar Chavez hit him, I believe it was a left hook. And Meldrick Taylor, even though he outpointed Julio Cesar Chavez, he fell. And Richard Steele, the referee, I remember it so clear, waved the fight off. And the light was flashing for the 10-second mark, whether it was after or before, it was right there. He just waved it off. He was seconds away from the biggest victory at that time that anybody could have had from winning. And the rest of his life took a downhill spiral. I believe they rematched, but it was an easy win for Julio Cesar Chavez. And Meldrick Taylor got knocked out because his head wasn't right. And a lot of times we go through things in life where our mind just ain't right because of something that happened. Maybe a family member transitions that we were so close to. Maybe you fell short in some kind of way in life, reaching a goal. At the same time, you came home and saw your significant other in the bed with somebody else. It just messed your head up. And sometimes we see people who we think are crazy out here. Legitimately crazy. I'm saying crazy like in real mental illness. I'm not saying it to put them down. Well, you shouldn't call anybody with mental illness. I'm just talking normal stuff. Because if I walked around with some diapers on my head full of doo-doo and skipping and I had a tutu on with lipstick on, you say Lance done went crazy. You're not going to say, oh, he's mentally challenged. No, that nigga crazy. So when it really is that, I have a heart. But this stuff where the floodgates are open and they encourage you now. In Europe, there are white men talking about their puppies, their dogs, their poodles, and they have women walking them around. And it's okay. Whoever you want to be. No, it don't work like that. Well, listen, if you tell me this, that I can be whatever I want to be. Listen, I want to be a black man, straight and heterosexual. So I am very happy. And this is not play pretend. But if you believe in this thing so strongly, let me suggest to you, like you're suggesting to the children, that certain things are all right. If you have feelings for another boy and you want to kiss him, listen. Why are you suggesting this thing? Because you know the power of the mind. That little boy's straight. He want to get a little older and get some pussy. Excuse me for being so blunt, but I feel strong about this. I got to a certain age, every chick that walked past me, I couldn't help but turn around or be sneaky about it, look in the rear view mirror or look in the storefront mirror. I was crazy over women. I was a crackhead for women. Just bring them on. So if you believe in this play pretend thing, let's pretend that you go to the top of a skyscraper, right? And you go out of one of the windows where they have a little ledge. And you stand out on that ledge on a windy day while we close the window behind you and go on and step off and pretend you're a bird. Play pretend on that. Oh, you're damn crazy. What are you, mentally ill? No. I'm only doing the things that you suggest to other people. Go up there and fly off like a bird. Go on, if you believe in this. Because see, they push this on certain people, on the masses. But those people that Kanye West had a problem with, they ain't pushing that for them people, even though you got a lot of them in that thing. Let me call them out. Harvey Levin. Huh? Straight? Hell no. I used to work with him. I know. But they spoke it in whispers. And they're arrogant, and they want to control things, and they have their own decadence, and they have their own insecurities. Them people there, they don't like black people. They see us and they see our strength and our power. We're not like little rats up under a rock somewhere. Oh, weak and pale. We are born this way strong. I've seen kids raised up damn near on Kool-Aid and cheese doodles and bust out strong. Oh, you know, my son, Evan, he just got a scholarship for wrestling or basketball or something. And we need to stop just focusing on the physicality. We got to be thinkers. So many of us are so caught up in this mental illness that we're not thinking about being real movers and shakers. You're worried about rights to put on a dress. Why don't you go on and be a damn lawyer in your community? Well, we got to go to the Steins and the this and the Bergs and all these. Why don't we have more of that? Why don't we have more Black-owned grocery stores that we go out, get the good produce, and you don't have to go over to the white neighborhood to go get the better groceries? How about that? Why is it that many places where we live is a food desert? You drive a car, you don't realize it now, do you? But if you had to walk to get a full range of nutrition, real, fresh, non-GMO nutrition. But all I saw in the hoods in Orlando was a Family Dollar and the Family General, whatever, General this, what, all sugar. Corn syrup centers, high fructose corn syrup centers. Everything damn had high fructose corn syrup in it. And you thinking, that ain't sugar. Because it didn't say sugar, because they don't teach you that in school, that everything that ends in OSE is a sugar. You know glucose is a sugar. They'll let you have that one. But fructose, galactose, maltose. But I studied nutrition on my own as a bodybuilder back in the day. I didn't go to school with it to learn that. I swear, I had a doctor to ask me certain things about. You know what I mean? He's, oh, you're a vegan. Where are you getting your protein from? I said, amino acids. How is that? See, these doctors take their courses and check it off, and they're oh, you got most of them wrong, but go ahead. You have your practice anyway, and plus you're paying for my girlfriend's condo. Thank you. And they don't care. They go by the book. So I told him, I said, well, meat is like going to Home Depot or Lowe's. And for those who are out of the country, those are home improvement centers where you can get things to fix up your house. Do you go to buy a brick wall to bring it home to chip out the bricks so you can build another brick wall? If you eat vegan, and I have my issues with veganism right now too, and I told you all that. But basically, you're buying the bricks. It's only in its amino acid form when you break it down. You got to make sure to combine them right and get the right amounts. It's a little more difficult. And he didn't know that. I couldn't believe that. That he didn't know. You're a dollar store, right. But food deserts, Gifty, I see you, my dear sister. Food deserts. So we got kids who all summer perpetually are skipping happy, sugar rush, going to the corner store. As soon as you get 50 cents, you know the price of every piece of candy in that store. Mommy, can I have another quarter? Because if I get another quarter, I'll be able to get them Little Debbie cakes. Little Debbie cakes. When was the last time you read the label of some of these things? You'd have to have a college education in nutrition or basically chemicals and poison to be able to read these things. What happened that when you made a cake, even though we know we understand what butter does, I'd rather that. Cocoa, flour, butter, little brown sugar, little baking, powder. And you make the cake. It comes right out of you. But now you buy these packaged things. Like Mr. SCURV made a cake tonight. Simple. About 4 or 5 ingredients and that's it. Delicious. And it feels like it has nutrition in it. And you putting all these chemicals in it because we're in this mental illness, because it's not just about LGBTQ. It goes across the board. How sick we are. And really and truly, it's most of us. You driving in your car and you see a hamburger and your mouth starts to water. Ain't no hamburger trees out here. I mean, this is something we need to brush up on. I'm not knocking anybody because there's certain things I like. What's the point? People say, well, Lance, you're not eating beef anymore, but you're making vegan burgers, so you still have the same lust. That's true. You should be lusting after the fruits and vegetables, but we don't do that. That's how messed up we are. We forgot. We forgot. And it goes across the board with so many things. We know how this Caucasian got us and got our minds all screwed up. So every time we see something that looks like him, it's got to be right. If it's white, it's right. What happened to us? Let me just get a sound check. I know it's all right, but the sound when I heard back the show wasn't all the way right. It was almost like it was coming from across the room or something like that. And I have that other mic that's open that I can't figure out what it is. It's something in the mechanism. So I just want to check. But nobody said anything about, so I know the sound is good. Gina G, yes, and I lust after nature. That's right. That's right. Even the dogs out there, because they try to bring up instances where there was homosexuality here and homosexuality there. Yeah, today, there was something off. I hit something. I gotta check sometime because for some reason some settings would just pop back into something else. Conspiracy. Oh, thank you. I wish it was like this yesterday, because I think it was picking it up from the cam sound, which it was kind of away from me. But anyway, I got to check on these things. If you ever hear anything different in how things sound, just let me know. Even sometimes I'm peeking and peeking out. So yeah, you early in the morning walking to school, you see a bunch of dogs. Well, 11 dogs around each other. There's that one female dog. Everybody trying to get to the female dog, but all the dogs are horny. So the dog's like, well, there's one female over there. There's a whole bunch of dogs. I know there must be another female around here. And they go and sniff. They reject it because they went up and smelled another dog's anus and balls. That's not what he wants. He knows the smell. But how can we put ourselves to play pretend? Like how can you morph something that is so good and so natural into something else? And those of us who are heterosexual, I'm not giving you a pass either. Well, since woman, you can just screw everything in sight. Why would you want to do that? What are you getting out of that? You're not building anything. You look around, you 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, and you have no history. Nothing built except that you wet up some bed sheets all across. Yeah, see that project over there? Man, that girl I'll tell you about. Hey, but look at that over there. I used to have one over there too. And what does it end up to? And you come to the end of your life and then you end up going after somebody who did everything right and you trying to get with them. Oh, yeah, that's a good girl. Yeah, it's a good woman. Yeah, because you're looking for somebody to take care of your broke ass. How about that? You run all these years. And now when you breaking down and have nothing to offer, even if it's a piece of pension that doesn't do well in today's market. You see them old men working in Walmart as greeters. They can't do nothing else. Well, I want to supplement my income. If it was right and the system was right and you were thinking right, your life would be a whole lot better. And you wonder, where did it go? Where'd the time go? I don't want to be one of them dudes if I have the luxury of a deathbed. And why I say luxury, because many won't. Car accidents and seizures and heart attacks and things that are fatal immediately. But if I know I'm going out, if you lived your life and made corrections and improvements, even if you did so later sincerely, it won't be painful. Even if your body has pain, the worst pain is to look back on a life where you didn't build anything, when you didn't leave a mark. It doesn't mean you have to be part of the Hollywood elite or one of the best athletes in the world. Doesn't mean that. But to build a family and to be there to give them wisdom and advise them as they get older, that you're leaving something behind better off. Now, every situation is not perfect. Sometimes the parents pass on early and circumstances and tragic things, we know that. That's bad enough. But why are we going to add to it by running down a road, the other side of the road, over the double line to get into a head-on collision and realize that you were just wasting your time? Wasting your time. This is to distract you. We all have a mission to do on this level, large and small. Even if you feel your life is nondescript, remember when I always speak about the watch and how the critic goes to the beautiful faceplate, the critic goes to the hour hand, the minute hand, and the second hand, and how pretty the numbers look. But they're getting the credit. But when you pull that faceplate off, you see the gazillion gears that are behind there, making that watch perform the way it does. So no matter how small you feel your role is, don't think that you're not making a difference. It's a different hierarchy with everything that we do. We may go on and not be noticed for 60 or 70 years in our life to realize that there comes a time where your greatness will shine and the world will see how important you always were. Some of us get it early. Some of us get it early without even hard work. We don't know. Stop looking for that. Just keep throwing your fists, throwing righteous punches, adding up the points to know that you made a mark, large or small. Because as you can see, like the title says, we live in a world where mental illness is normalized and most are scared to call it out. That it's not going to be fair. The best are not always going to be showcased. The ones who are below them, who are willing to do certain things in the back room deals, in the back orifice deals, videotaping us to make sure they keep us in check, giving us things in large sums of money that they can take away anytime. This is not nature's order. We are in it, but it's a test to see the true metal of our heart, to see if we're going to be straight. I'm not really saying straight that way, but yes, we'll throw that in there to see if we're going to be straight. That too. Whether you're seen or unseen, or on the scope, or away from prying eyes, it's a matter of integrity. Do you have that integrity, or will you crave those shiny red things that most Negroes like? And you got to have it. And you got to have that brand new car. If you work for it, fine. I'm not mad at you. It's nice to have nice things. But if your esteem is so low that the only way you can feel good about yourself is to surround yourself with low vibration, no vibration, dead toys, and a pseudo status that is fleeting. And you learn this if you have the luxury of a deathbed and nobody comes to visit you because they were only using you for the status, for the sex, or the money, as is most often the case in this world. So don't get it twisted. Put your energy towards something that's going to mean something, because this world is shot already. This world is like a runaway train that we don't know when it's going to derail. But just like that person who's driving with somebody who's intoxicated, narcissistic, full of ego, and wants to go faster than anybody else on a light drizzling day when the oil is sitting on top of the road, you're asking for an accident. And you see this person push the gas pedal down after the light in front of you went from green to yellow and 5 seconds just went by. And you pray that nobody else is on the same mindset to go through that light just as it turns yellow. and you get through. You come up with an excuse to get out of the vehicle, and you're smart because you got away from something that is going to happen. And by the time you get home, you get a call on your cell phone. Did you hear about Marty? I mean, that crazy fool, what happened? Man, he ran into a pole, man. He got hit by an 18-wheeler, spun, hit the pole, broke in half. They can't even find his head yet. So when it's time and when you know, you can't negotiate with these demons. They are hell-bent on bringing you into hell. Whatever you call hell, I'm speaking symbolically. They're taking you off your course. I can't sign off on mental illness. If you have been traumatized, molested, I can work with you if you acknowledge that. But don't throw off on me if I don't sign off to say you can keep doing this because this happened. In certain times, it doesn't happen. There are a lot of people I know that live certain lifestyles that had a good upbringing, seemingly, that weren't molested by somebody. You got people who come from good homes where they're batshit crazy. There's no reason why. It could be something in the genes or something passed down. I don't know. Those are mysteries that maybe we'll never know on this level. But all I'm saying is that we can't embrace a corporate mental illness, political mental illness, religious mental illness. And don't start. I said I wasn't going to do a 5-hour show. If I start talking about the religious mental illness, we'll be here. You'll be like, Lance, I got to sleep. It's 5 o'clock in the afternoon the next day. You've been talking for all these hours. We'll just break it up in segments. But our very practices and some of the things we believe, like the woman who's at home, well, he comes home from work late at night. I believe he's faithful. No, you better step it up and find out why he's coming home late and don't want to make love to you. Why he comes straight to the door and right to the shower. What are you trying to wash off? He don't want you to pick up the scent of another woman, and hopefully not another man, because that's going on too. And when you talk or speak like this, I get all kind of comments from dudes. Hell, you know how many pictures a week I get from dudes sending me their dicks? Like, I'm really asking for that. Well, I know you might not be into this, but if you ever happen to be and you ever want to try anything out, you can just call me. Well, you'll be waiting a long time for that phone call. I know. And from the people who are like, Lance, show it to me. Okay, I'll show it to you. I'll forward it right to you. I get some quackery coming at me. And we got stuff to do to leave this planet better off than what it was. And you have something that's diametrically opposed to you and your mission, and they're trying to screw it up. You all want to be that way, whichever way you are. Find all the people who love the stuff you love, and you will go on your own island. Go on your own island. It'll die off soon. And you hate when somebody says that. Because, see, you got to keep a new supply and new recruits. Remember that group, the Village People, who made the song Macho Man? And they had the song, In the Navy, we can sail the 7 seas. And they had a hook in there talking about, we want you, we want you, we want you as a new recruit. Don't lie to me. That was what, about 76, 77, 78, 77? That was some gay agenda recruiting stuff from back then. It's fun to stay in the YMCA. It's fun to stay in the YMCA. Young Men's Christians Association. Young men? I love my brothers. I love my male friends. I ain't trying to lay it with them and hit them off with some head. What are you, crazy? I'll sleep there if I'm down and out and don't have nowhere to go. But I'm trying to hang out by the YWCA. Let's see who's out there. Come on, let's go to dinner, sweetheart. What's your name? I ain't got no time for the YMCA. The Village People, if y'all don't know, go on YouTube and Google it and watch the live performances and play the songs and listen to the words. Macho Man was the big hit for them. In the Navy. What else? You know what? I can't play those songs because, the whole copyright thing. But I can sure Google it and tell you about it. And if you want, you can Google that group. You know how sometimes you can get these sites that will tell all the words of the song? Let me see. Village People songs. All of them had something to do with, okay, here you go. I saw a few of them now. Wait now. Okay. Macho Man, 5 o'clock in the morning. I didn't know they made that. They had a rap song like that, but I didn't know they made it. San Francisco. Like Dave Chappelle said, San Francisco is probably the anus of America. Go West, Magic Night, and in the Navy. Let me see if I can find some of these words. Okay, let's see if we can find some of the words. Lyrics in there. Go back. It's not bashing. I'm just talking real. I'm just having a conversation that would have behind closed doors, but it's public. Okay, here we go. Oh, damn. Okay, they giving the full version of this song, but it's just one song. Wait a second. That's YMCA. Young man, there's no need to feel down. I said, young man, pick yourself off the ground. I said, young man, cause you're in a new town. There's no need to be unhappy. Young man, there's a place you can go. I said, young man, when you're short on your dough, you can stay there. And I'm sure you will find many ways to have a good time. It's fun to stay in the YMCA. It's fun to stay in the YMCA. They have everything for young men to enjoy. You can hang out with all the boys. There's more to it. But they were recruiting from back then. Young man, I was once in your shoes. I said, young man, I was down and out with the blues. I felt no man cared if I was alive. No man cared if I was alive. I felt the whole world was so jive. Then when someone came up to me and said, young man, take a walk up the street. It's a place there called the YMCA. They can start you back on your way. Or they can have you on your back having their way. Coded language. It was from way back then. And it was mainstream and most people didn't realize it. They say, oh, look at the one with the reflective glasses, and look at the one like the Indian, the Native American, and look at the one. Role play, y'all. They were showing you a world that most didn't even know existed. But I knew because I grew up in New York City and saw it. My father explained it to me. I'm like, yo, but I never knew that it would turn into this. I never knew. Unbelievable. Now, do they have other songs connected to this? Well, pretty much. You get the picture. Let me drop this link inside. Amazing. Let me see. And just like you have Masonic organizations and the Illuminati and whatever else you want to, they got their way of knowing. They got their way of knowing. You could be in a room with them, right up in the conversation with them, and they done wink their eyes and did the handshakes and little motions and whatnot. And you see them too later on. You just introduced them. It's a passing business deal. But you see them on a Saturday night, just them two, up close, next to each other. Like, wait a second. Y'all meant, I introduced y'all on the business deal six months ago, and y'all up here pissy drunk. Hey, what kind of club is this? Where are the women? Oh, wow. Really, Gifty? Ain't nobody straight. Whoa. And some are just so cool with it. And it's Raining Men by the Weather Girls. The Alphabet Mafia took that. Yes, they did. Did I tell you I did a posing exhibition with the Weather Girls? It was in August of 1983, and I'm dying to get that paper, the City Sun, that had my picture with them. And there were other bodybuilders there. But it was Harlem Week, and it was a whole week of festivities because, you know, Harlem, New York used to be black, right? Now it's all mixed up. A multicultural, twisted bowl of soup is turning into. But my buddy, his last name is Scott. He came on the show about 2 years ago and was talking about all those things. I want to get him on. I keep forgetting because I know so many Scotts. The last name, it's a blur to me. So he would get us out of the different gyms to go and do different events. That's when I was speaking about Linda Wood-Hoyt, the lady who's like damn near 80 years old and a bodybuilder and still looking good. That's when I got to meet her. That was 40 years ago, right? So we'd do these different events. We'd speak at schools. We go do posing exhibitions and little seminars and different black schools speaking about nutrition and different things. So that week I would always be free. I went to everything, you know, but that day they had Ready for the World. They had the Weather Girls and they had Strafe. Remember the song? Set it off on the left, y'all. Set it off, I suggest, y'all. Set it off, set it off, set it off. On the left, on the right. They were singing it too. But it was the Weather Girls that we came out with. And I had something that was a little more than a thong, but I was masculine. And the whole front of City Hall, it was like the Million Man March the way it looked. It was on a lunch break too. So it was awesome. Not too far from the World Trade Center. So all I remember is that the other dudes had some kind of like the little kung fu shoes on, not those, but like little slip over things. And I didn't. Man, that stage was so hot. I was hurting, but I was still hitting the shots or whatever. And Martha Washington, she was kind of on the diva side, kind of like, you know, and the other one, I forgot her name, but she was cool. And after that, you know, it was just a performance. You know, we were little nobodies, glad to get up there. And people, it was a news clip. You know, they took of that, and I was on that. I got to try to find this stuff. That was a long time ago. So the City Sun, that was a black newspaper in New York. It wasn't like the Amsterdam News. It was kind of like smaller. And a couple of years after that, they just folded. So these are just memories. I wouldn't lie about those things. But yeah, they take that for their own thing. They better not use no clip with me with the Weather Girls, even though I wasn't in the official video. You know, but they gay guys took that as their, you know, as their song. It's crazy. Rip off the roof and stay in bed. And that spirit, growing up in the city, and you can't help but be around on the jobs in the street. That was a big subculture, and it is, I guess. I'm not in the city now. I mean, I know things feel a little different, especially after 9/11. But that gay thing, you could smell it. I don't know. I'm going to say it. I don't care who gets insulted. It's a spiritual scent. I'm not even going to call it scent. Scents are nice. Like what's the scent of that perfume, right? No, it's a spiritual smell. And it's insulting to you who are not going that way. And there's an arrogance that goes with it. It ain't just no, we love each other just like you two heteros. No, it's not. It's something that's always on fire. It's something that's never satisfied. Here you are doing, like they used to have the Pride concert. Not the concert, parade. I'm sorry. They had concerts all during that week. And like I said, most people want to go down there because there are a lot of fine ladies out there just checking things out in the restaurants and in Greenwich Village, which many homosexuals only felt comfortable to be themselves in that part of the city. But they had some damn good sushi restaurants. Washington Square Park was sweet at night, all night long. Nobody bothered you. You sit on the park bench, you talking to a young lady, hanging out, having a good time. You saw them around, but you were into what you into. And I'm into what I'm into. And it was really nice. Washington Square Park, the Greenwich Village, but then you have the Christopher Street Dock. Does anybody here know about the Christopher Street Dock? My father had a client on that one block right there. And from single digit ages, when I would go with him in the summertime or after school or on the weekend, there are these two bars across the street. And I knew from young, because he told me the deal what it was. I was like, Daddy, that lady don't look like a lady, but that lady got a dress on and they look tall. Because you know, if you 6'3" and you got heels on and your size 12 pumps, well, guess what? You're gonna look like a giant. And the big angular face, no makeup gonna hide that. And big catcher's mitt hands, big Adam's apple. And you know how some of the white men got them big noses? Strange, like a monster. Looking like Nosferatu in drag, the vampire. So I knew. And there were a lot of girls who used to hang out at that dock. That was a real dock, though. Them New York City docks you can drive trucks out on. Wasn't some flimsy wooden thing. And I remember, and I've told this story before, they had the dock, and it's not like you just drop off in the water. They had these dividers that might have been like about maybe 4 feet tall, 4.5 feet tall, 4 feet tall, concrete dividers they put there all along. There might have been a little space between like 3 or 4 inches, but you can climb over it. And if you climbed over it, you had about 6 feet of dock. They made sure not to put those concrete dividers on the edge, so you just jump off into the water. If you had a fight, somebody should throw you over. So they had 6 feet leeway. It was pitch black. You saw the World Trade Center and a whole skyline over you. It was brilliant. It was beautiful to look back at the city, the lights. It was always just sometimes frightening. I would always think, and I gotta admit, I was always thinking, like, what if the big buildings just fell down somehow? Like I was getting a pre-signal of what was going to happen. I remember having a conversation with a good friend of mine about that being the next target after they had that van blow up at the bottom of the World Trade Center in 1993. I said, don't think they're finished with it, because that's a symbol. No, it's not going to happen. Well, anyway, we're leaning up, me and 2 or 3 young ladies. I think one of my friends, my male friends, was with me. And so we had more, but it was an entertaining thing. It wasn't like, I'm going to get you somewhere and screw you. It was just, we hanging out. I love the female energy. I love female energy. I get along with male energy when the males are straight in their mind. They're not insecure. I don't get along with insecure men, especially around a bunch of women. Because now they're going to try to start jockeying. I have nothing to prove. That's the way I am. I have nothing to prove. I'm enjoying the company. But I love the magnetism, the electricity, even if you're not on my sexual scope. You're so feminine. I love the energy. I feel like a protector. It's a beautiful exchange. So we leaned up there. It was kind of dark and our eyes began to adjust. So when you looked over to the other side, you couldn't really see. It was a wide dock. It's got to still be there. And somebody's going to really see this in the comments, or if you've never been there, yeah, I was there. I know it, whatever. So all of a sudden, I'm hearing like slow clapping. There's people had boom boxes back in them days. They played music, they're dancing, break dancing, homos over there. They ain't bothering nobody. They look at you, they know you're straight. They ain't bothering you, especially when you're around a bunch of women. And I hear, I'm like, what? You hear that noise? Like somebody smacking somebody. And one of the young ladies who were there, she turned around and looked behind us. Oh my God, Lance, look over your shoulder, look over. And I looked, these jokers, one was on his knees, spread eagle, one pants out the leg. So the next one, who had both his pants pulled down around his ankle, he was hitting him from behind. 2 fat, mayonnaise eating, fat white men, middle-aged, like they slipped out there from being with their wives or something. Dude had glasses all fogged up looking at me like he was in his world just shaking up. It was disgusting. Like, oh, damn. Dude had on a wedding ring too. The other dude didn't have one. So I'm assuming they had a wife at home somewhere. Boy, I could see that wife. Alan, you taste different. Have you been putting on yourself? No, that's the next man's anus. And then you get mad when I say it like that. Oh, you're so nasty. Well, you're doing the damn thing. I'm not even doing it. I'm just telling you. And you getting mad at me. What are you getting mad at me for? Yeah, Ren H, New York City. And yeah, no, the 90s was still dope. But I'm going to tell you, the 80s, the late 70s. I mean, I'm not saying you missed anything, because I did a lot of exploring. I found myself up at parties that had no invitation. I found myself in clubs that nobody knew about, just in the underworld, the sexual underworld. They no longer exist. I was in Plato's Retreat. You know the song. And people didn't even know what that song was about. Let me see. Let me see if I can get, what was the guy's name? His name was Thomas. Okay, I'll find the words of that song, Plato's Retreat. But Google Plato's Retreat, New York, when you want to see. They closed up, I believe, in the December of 85. I was there in July of 85. And Mayor Ed Koch, who was gay, nobody, a lot of folks didn't know that, to make a statement about the fight against AIDS, he went and had that shut down because that was a very popular swing club. And basically, to close that club would put the stigma on heterosexuals that you're having all of this wild sex. Remind me to do a show on that, and I'll tell you my experience there, because I can't just say it like in 20 minutes now. Maybe tomorrow night I'll talk about things like that. But he had that one closed down, and he left all the other gay clubs open, and he left all the other swing clubs open. There was one on 27th Street named Le Trapeze. I was there also. I think they're still open to this day. But that was the second place swing club in New York City, right? But it was a distant second to Plato's Retreat, because Plato's Retreat looked like a daggone Walmart, y'all. Mazes and rooms and dance floors and pools and little rooms. What? It was like an amusement park. You see somebody walking past you, you may not see them for the rest of the night. Wasn't no place where, okay, we didn't see everybody up in here. No. And there was a stench in there too. But I'll tell you all about that. Maybe I'll talk about some wild stuff like that tomorrow night, but I'll bring a lesson out of it. Let me see, Plato's Retreat lyrics. Now let's put song. I know the guy who sung it. His name was Thomas. Joe Thomas, Plato's Retreat lyrics. Let me read off some of these if I can find it. Okay, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna drop this link here. I always want to show and prove. I don't want to just make people think, oh, you're making that up. No, I'm not making that up. And I'll even try to find one. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Ed Koch was gay. Oh yeah. Where was his wife? Not just on that. When you're in New York City, and look at these words here. Plato's Retreat. Y'all can play it, but I can't play it. If you need some loving, some part-time hugging, move to any beat at Plato's Retreat. Getting hot and bothered, loosen up your collar. Let's all do the freak at Plato's Retreat. Then let's all do the freak, yeah, and then the hook. You know, then they say those words again. Don't need to know your number. Just got to know your body. Let's all do the freak at Plato's Retreat. And so they repeated those words. Everyone invited, getting all excited. Let's all do the freak at Plato's Retreat. I don't want to repeat nothing, so that's why, you know. But when they say don't need your number, just got to know your body. Man, I saw some things up in there. I did a little something myself with somebody I brought there with me, but it was a free-for-all. I'll talk about that because I want you to get the feel. I want to talk about New York and different aspects of it. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow night and really take you there and make you laugh and take you to worlds maybe you didn't even know. That stuff was back from then. That was July of 1985. I was 22 years old when I went there. But I had been a veteran for exploring places for years before. And like I said, from 16, 17 years old, when I got that muscular body, well, I exploited it. They thought I was grown. You could tell I really wasn't, but you put on a hat at night, little cap, paint on more of a mustache. Why do you want my eyebrow pencil? Hold on, let me just use this and give myself more of a mustache. Kind of walk kind of hard. Going. You can go on, no ID, whatever. I'm like, wow, I got in. Got to get these stories. So when 2023 comes, I can tell it to everybody. Long before a lot of them were born. Yes, Jack Griffin. I caught the joke. Those places were taboo. Maybe we'll open up a little more on some things that I did, but they know. But that I like that. Jack Griffin's always on time with that's a joke. That's a hidden joke in there, y'all. And I wasn't even looking at the chat room because I'm going to wrap it down soon. I'll save some for tomorrow. I want to talk about things I explored, but there were fun things too. There was how could I put it? There was a decadent, grimy wholesomeness. I'm not glorifying the decadence, but these days, that spirit, that twisted spirit where mental illness is normalized, you could feel the evil in it. I'm not saying it was right before, but people had a chance before. People who are into things. I mean, I've known people who are heavy into drugs and heavy into homosexuality. We didn't hang, but I knew of them in the different worlds that I traveled. And a lot of them on all levels had a kind heart. Like, this is what I do, but I'm not mad at you for being who you are. Now this thing is so organized and pushed on people. And we think it's new. No, it's not new. It's been lurking. Like in your backyard or the side of your yard when you were a kid and you lifted up that heavy stone and you dropped it quick because you saw all kind of bugs that don't like the light. Now they're scrambling. One's on your leg and you're hitting your leg. You see what I mean? But it's different now. It's evil. I'm not going to say it's just CERN, but I feel stuff like that has something to do with it because there's so many Satanists and so many people who don't like God, the creator, the God force, the life force, that thing, that energy that brought us here and had everything laid out so perfectly for us. A perfect world, man. Like I always say, I don't pick mangoes off the tree down here and it calls me back to, hey, you got to give me $5 for picking that off my tree. It was free. There's an energy out here that does not like how we were afforded such a wonderful life. And it's those entities that try to lure you into things that you shouldn't be doing. There are rules to this game. And we do have tragic things that happen to good people, and we don't know why. It may not be where it's their fault. But those things we may not know on this level. And you know what? It's okay. Because I know there's a reason for everything. But this engineered decadence forced on you. And like I said with Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade, how they applaud that. You have presidents of politicians, religious figures applauding them, preparing to mutilate their son. Don't you know you knock off so many generations if you cut that boy's dick and balls off? That might be the cure for cancer coming through that guy's loins years from now. It might be the cure for AIDS coming through and you chop it off because you feel after they sucked in the agenda. Because that Dwayne Wade, he ain't too straight. He's living vicariously through his son. Well, you keep that to yourself. Because even the son that you had doesn't belong to you. You raise them, you give them the best wisdom that you can, but that is a crime that will go straight down through the pits of hell, down to the bottom. Let's talk Christianity. The devil say, man, They put him so far down the hill, I ain't gonna see him because it's so bad. I ain't going down there, and I'm the devil. But there's a spiritual thing to that. Remember, we have entities that get off on pain. People who are sadistic, demonic forces who love to see misery. Think about that movie Hellraiser with the gnashing of the teeth. And they say it's going to be like that in hell. Whether it's this or that, why take a chance? Why are you doing this? Look, there's a lot of, I feel, this is my pure opinion. There are a lot of disembodied entities that seduce you into doing things that they want to do, but they don't have a body to do it in. Like a dude who don't have a car. We know he drives good and has a license. Hey, bro, can I hold your car tonight? What you gonna do, man? Oh, man, this girl's leaving town in 3 days. I need to spend some time with her. You're gonna be out of town for a week. So can I hold it for them days? I'll bring it back. And you might let him do it, but he doesn't have a car. And some of these demons ain't got a body. We talk about casting up the spirits. They ran to the pigs, swine. There's a lot of hints that's telling you. Because when you look at the world the way it is, that's what it is. And they love to recruit you. You see, these homosexual men, they don't want homosexual men. They want to recruit you. They get a thrill from turning you out. A lot of them love married men, heterosexual. A lot of them jokers would love for me to turn the other way. Oh, we got LANCESCURV. Yes, they'll be high-fiving and whatnot. Well, you ain't high-fiving nothing on me like that. They don't want what's already tainted. I've seen it in the jail. I've seen it in prisons. In the jail, they'll make unofficially a unit like that. You'd have 4 cells that had 8 inmates and a day room for all 4 cells. And so to stop any trouble from people who, I don't even want to use the word homophobic. That I ain't scared of none of y'all. Like I'm scared of something that you're doing that's so good to you. I'm scared of it. No, you scared of me because I'm walking with nature. Oh, we go ahead. Watch the comments in this one. If you didn't see the comments on the show yesterday with Bill Gates and what else did I speak about? Energy vampires and hot sex with AI. Look in the comment section of that. Look how I answered them. I was going to do a show on that comment tonight. I'm like, I'm not going to sit here and advertise and get caught up in, because it's going to pull other people, because I have trolls that are that way. And they're going to come back. Why don't you use your platform to just show the other side? But not interested in no Batiman, you know. You got enough platform out in the world. Daggone it, you can't go anywhere without seeing the rainbow that they hijacked. That rainbow don't belong to you. That's a glorious thing. A wonderment that gives you hope. Little children see a rainbow, and you knew exactly what to pick to make that your symbol. You little bastards. Yeah, I said it. You had a thing about coming after the kids from that. But I'm not going to reject the righteous rainbow that my creator made. No. We need to make a rainbow with a patch on it to our straight love. You know, we need to be a thorn in their side. But again, you know, people will lose jobs and they won't be accepted into certain communities where it might be townhomes or something, and they may find a way. I think he won't like us. You do know we're all inclusive for everybody who loves each other. We don't discriminate. But that community can be so evil to Black people, like I said earlier. That wealthy, affluent, corporate, we have money out our ass type of LGBTQ folks. Like I said, one of the most telling visuals that I had, I will never forget it. I was on the outbound 21 route, left downtown at 5:15, and I had a light there. on Orange Blossom Trail in Central Avenue. And there was a guy that I knew from working in the jail before that I knew he was a homosexual and part-time prostitute, but he was homeless. He had mental issues and drug issues. He wasn't a bad person at the base, but he was so tied up with trauma and confusion and spiritual whatever. But I would look at him as a victim because I knew of him personally. And my heart always went out to him because he was confused, seriously. So he was digging out the garbage can. I was at the red light. I gave him like about $10 or something. I think I had 20, 2 tens. I gave him like $10. I felt guilty about not giving him 20, but he was hungry. He was smoke crack too, but he was so emaciated. He wanted to eat because I remember in the jail he loved to eat, and he still stayed skinny, right? So he was digging in the garbage can. He took the $10 and he still dug in the garbage can. That's how hungry he was. But to my right, not next to me, but on Orange Blossom Trail, there was a drop top Mercedes Benz with 2 men in it, and they had their hair all fluffed up and blonde and had glasses on, one of them, and they had their noses up in the air, and they were facing south at the light. And the lights took time to transition because there was a turning lane on Orange Blossom Trail on both sides. So, you have the arrow, you got to wait for that. So both sides to go down, up or down, north or south, east or west, you got to wait for that turning signal to go. So I'm sitting there, gave him the money. He went back. I see this Benz pull up and wait in the turning lane. And one guy tapped the other. The driver tapped the guy in the passenger seat, and he pointed at the young black man who was digging out the garbage can, who by his motions, you could know that he was gay. And they chuckled and they started laughing. And they made the turn, coming toward me, going behind me on the same street I was, and they were letting me, Oh, really? So this is why I say, when you black and you feel that you're in this lifestyle, don't push that stuff. Don't push that stuff. Them people don't love you. They're using you. Like I always say, there's a little black spot on the sun today. You're that little black spot. They don't care for you. It's just an excuse. You're a token Negro. You want to push all of that and get mad at me for talking about black folks. And look, I don't give black folks a pass because they black. I just know that whole thing so well, living the life I've lived. But it's bigger than that. Because I've told you all before, there have been people who have looked out for me, really looked out for me, and put their career on the line looking out for me. That were white. Not all of them. And possibly if we have to draw the line in the sand, if it comes down to that, I know they're going to pick that other side. But I've been done dirty by people that look like me. It's about your character. But I know the deal in this world. You see? What's the venom behind the action? So some of them in that comment, they told me, oh, you're hating. I ain't got time to hate on you. I'm loving on the people that I love. I want to motivate people. I want to leave you with a laugh, a good time, something thought-provoking. Even if you don't agree with what I agree, let's get into a healthy debate. I love that. I'm not going to be throwing fists at the end of the debate. You know what I mean? That's crazy. Give me more credit than that. There are a lot of opportunities I could have had in this life, but in my pursuit of decadence, I didn't do it. And I had to pay for it. But I think I've been blessed enough to come back from that and get a hold of myself. And still, I got a lot of polishing to do on the hood of the vehicle. I'm not done yet. Still got to armor all the tires. Still got to vacuum on the inside and armor all the dashboard. But I'm getting there. Maybe I'm a late bloomer. I don't know. Time is artificial. This life is just a pit stop to eternity. And I know that. It's an assessment. You're being assessed. It's not judging, because judging is when you don't know. You understand? So, oh yeah, Oyala. Some folks that look like us are deep. Yeah. I'll put that up there. You could see it in their eyes. You think I'm gonna give them a pass? Oh, they're a black brother. No way. They'll spit in my soup just as fast as a racist Klans member from what's the part of Georgia? There's a part of Georgia where they all are, or so many of them. You're right again. The rainbow had a different meaning, and what it is today is unacceptable. Unacceptable. And they talk about community. But then again, they hustled. There's a picture I always wanted to draw of a gay man doing the pole vaulting with the promise that he's going to jump over and give us back the pole so we as black people can jump over too. More like a cartoon. After he gets over and jumps, he runs with the pole and leaves us on the other side. They always align themselves, and different organizations align themselves with us. When those people that Kanye West has an issue with, when they want to come crying to us and talk about the similarities that we've had to endure, sounds good. And we as a people are always, not all of us, always willing. Give me your tired and your poor. After, we're always willing to accept the apology and open up full throttle to give our resources, time, and love. But some of those same people who will do that for them won't even turn around and do for our own. You see, a lot of us are mentally ill. Of course we are. Look what we had to go through. Even if we were raised up in nice homes, we got a certain degree of that we had to get out of, meaning that our thinking had to be tainted. We had to realize, hey, this ain't normal. It was mild enough to not have to get professional help. You ride your bike as a kid, you scrape your knee, it's bleeding real bad. You don't have to go to the hospital for that. But you fall out on something that slices you down to the white meat. Then maybe you think you need to go because it might get infected and you might have to stitch it up. The bottom line is that, like I said, some of us will never look out for each other. And so we need to work on being a little more long-suffering with each other. Stone Mountain, yeah, up in somewhere up in there. I don't know. Forsyth County. Forsyth County. Yeah, Forsyth County, Georgia. Pound for pound. You got them out there. Don't go through there with a quarter tank of gas. White power, white power. They never say it. They never say it with the W in the power, right? It's like they're saying sour. Like sour doesn't have a W in it, so they say sour. White power, white power. Yeah, Reese. I'm so tired of them singing their struggle is the same as our struggle. Ain't that something? But you still have your name, your religion, your God, right? We know the drill. Yeah, and that doesn't mean it's not in other parts, any place around Macon, Georgia, straight KKK. I drove through there, but it was on the highway, and we were getting it. We were getting it going to Atlanta. Oh, this is Macon? I didn't know that at that particular point, and I was thinking like, man, I went through Macon and it never stopped. Like I always like to go somewhere local and see the people, not just to the rest stops, but go 2 miles down away from it to get the flavor. And you only get one piece because each state has its own flavor. Each city has its own flavor and multiple flavors. It's just like Florida. You go to Miami. Oh, this is Florida. Yeah, it is, but it ain't Pensacola. It ain't Jacksonville. It ain't Liberty City. It ain't Central. And even Central Florida has so many different parts to it. Ocala. Me and Mr. SCURV were thinking about moving over there in Ocala to the side where they have all this land and stuff. And it was nice, but it was something that didn't feel right about that place. But it would have been nice, but too many sinkholes. And something didn't feel right. It was like everywhere else was getting, because it's a little slower, or it was. I could imagine Ocala now being really more built up because it's a city. It's modern, but the outskirts came quick. And I just felt like hoods might be out there, white hoods. White power! You made a mistake, Scurvin. We know your podcast. White power! Come out, nigga. I don't want to live that way. But you got factions out here in Ghana, too, that are not too, this is not just a piece of cake or something that you can shake your hand or shake a stick at lightly. No way. I see everything. I study everything. This thing is all over the world. Just the mental illness, the power grabs, the greed, the things that just mess up human nature. So it's just like whoever you have in your life who you know you can love, like all of you here, even if I didn't meet you face to face, Jack Griffin, we grew up together from the 70s. So, we all got busy with our lives and stuff like that. But at the core, we have that connection. Here, Renegade, power. Yo, Colin's not bad. Oh, let me see here. Oh, yeah. No, I heard about that. And it was where they were hesitating to arrest her. Yeah. We might throw that in tomorrow because I have to do that on Rumble. YouTube going to try to get me if I talk about that. And I can't talk about that and hold back. Lance, did you hear about the white woman who shot and killed a black woman right in front of her children in Ocala, Florida last week? They just arrested her. Stand your ground. But how did the black woman present a threat behind a locked door? And you can see her enough to shoot. So when you looked out, you had to see that she had no weapon, but this was an ongoing feud. So in there, it almost seemed like the sheriff deputy there, like he didn't want to really, come down on her at first. Like he was trying to walk the line. He's got to go to that Klan meeting and he's going to have to pay for that. It is a nice place, yes, but there's an undercurrent there. There's a lot of other stuff going on there. When you want to check and see how a place is, as somebody who is an American African, go check the others who were there before you, who were born and raised. If they have their head down and look apologetic and look like they want to tap dance real quick and it's so separate and something's wrong. It's like when you go to visit somebody really quick that, maybe you're with a friend of yours and he wants to visit his cousin and it's a holiday and you end up coming in, oh yeah, this is my friend Lance and you've never been in this house before. And you're standing there and you're being nice and cordial. Oh, nice to meet you. Oh, okay, thanks. Happy Thanksgiving, whatever. We know what Thanksgiving is all about. I'm just saying, I played a role too when I was in America. I'm not going to, this is not our holiday. You know what I mean? I know what it is. Okay, that's what you say. I say it back to you. It's funny. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. You know what I mean? I'm a covert agent here. But then when you get into that house with your friend who's only going to stay there 5 minutes to grab a plate and bounce, you just notice a spirit. You notice a feel there. And then you see the father come out. He shakes your hand and treats you nice, but he flashes a look at one of the children. And you say, there's something going on here. It may not be sexual abuse, but it's some kind of abuse or something that they fear in him. Those kind of energies I pick up on quick. I pick up on those things real quick. I'm not looking for it, but I'm very, very sensitive. I'm a nerd at heart. I just had to learn to look tough. I'm a quiet little nerd guy. But this world won't deal with you properly when you are. I'm very cerebral. But I had to build up an exoskeleton, an exterior. Not playing tough. No, I'm not trying to, I've cried on this show before. I cry looking at movies. There's songs that I hear and I cry. Does that make me weak? No. That's not weakness. That's emotional sweat. That's what I say. I feel all range of emotions. That's why I'm sensitive to people. So for somebody to say that I hate them because you diddling the same sex that you got between your legs, I don't hate you for that. But don't come and say I hate you because is a melanated human HUE-MAN. I love you. I don't love what you do, all right? I don't need to know what you do. But there's an overlapping part of our existence that we know the similar struggles growing up in that place. And I say that place because I'm here now. And there's struggles over here that I know to circumvent because I'm a foreigner here. Don't think that when they come to you and say, Akwaba, my brother, oh, my brother, I'm so glad you are at the homeland. They ain't thinking like that. Translation, for a lot of them, welcome, fool. I know you got a lot of money because you're American. So I'm going to treat you right, make you feel at home until I can get in them pockets. And that's not everybody. But they try to hustle us. And there are some who are not like that. Many are ignorant to those dynamics. I'm not saying ignorant like you stupid and don't know anything. But studying this place has taught me a whole lot about how Black people out of America think. And again, it's not like we all think in a monolithic manner, right? But there's similarities. And again, I say the analogy is like the bus route from downtown. All the bus routes take the same street pretty much to get out of the bus depot. And as time goes on, it spreads out. So a lot of us know what certain things in America taste like. It's up to us to decide how we deal with it, how we react to it. Do we have the fortitude, the strength to deal with it? Do we have the intelligence to know how to take certain things and bring this into the later rounds and defeat it? See, we take a lot from those who don't like us, but we refuse to take a lot from the people who look like us, and we well understand the similar struggles that they have. We have to learn to be long-suffering because we don't know their upbringing. It could be a professional Black woman who has a corporate job to the highest degree, double six figures. And she may look at me a certain way because maybe I look like the man who beat her down when she was younger and didn't have anything. That's her mind not conditioned to come out of that trauma. So if she treats me a funny way or says something funny to me or uses her status to try to make me feel lower, I got to look through that and say, there's certain factors here at play that I don't know about. So I'm not going to rag on this woman because I know I'm a lovable guy and I wish her no harm. See? So we all have a lot of things that we have going on as Black people. And because of our own challenges in mental health, I'm not going to say mental illness. Some of us, yes, we're mentally ill. Like I said, my mental illness was lust. Unbridled. Some other people is gambling. Some of it is anger. They want to fight everybody.
What you looking at, man?
I mean, you might have rubbed your eyes a certain way and glanced over somebody. They don't know what you're looking at. I'm not looking at you. I see you. Everything I see, I'm not looking at. Sometimes you're at the red light, waiting for the light to change. And you're just staring straight ahead. And you see people. You're not even registering them sometimes. You're deep and lost in your own thoughts. But it's crazy how we treat each other. So if we take a little more time to try to educate each other and to embrace each other, not get pulled into the hustle, because you have people here who use trauma as a hustle. They're always whining about something and, but at the end of the day, they want money. We don't know how many layers a person has over their real selves. Those prior defense mechanisms that they've had to use to get through certain situations and relationships that were abusive or families that were emotionally disconnected. There's some people who don't know how to show love. That's why they say, what's your love language? Right? How do you show love? Some people it's kissy, 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 huggy, huggy, huggy. Some people will never do that, but they'll fix you a nice meal. Some will make sure, some men that you get involved with, I'm just using this as an example, they may not be into that whole thing, right? But they show you love by year in and year out, making sure the bills are paid and you're taken care of. That's their way. So we got to find out how we show each other love and how they show love. They can't tell you because most of the time they don't even know. It's just the same way how people learn or receive you. You got to figure out how they're receiving what you're trying to tell them. And they'll tell you if you ask them after a while. If you're trying to explain something or teach something, I mean, we're all teachers to somebody. They turn around and say, you know, Lance, you're making sense, but I'm just not hearing you. So now we know it's a listening thing. Oh man, I'm not feeling that. Now we know we have to get to the emotions and make them feel. So you have to come around that way. Man, I'm not seeing it. You got to make them see it. You got to tell the story with so much detail that they can see it because they receive it differently. You take a Mexican to the Kennedy Fried Chicken down in the hood, he ain't going to eat it. He going to eat the chicken with the spices on it. The Italian man says, I want to eat this chicken. I want chicken cacciatore. I want some Alfredo sauce on this bad boy. You know what I mean? Same chicken. But it's how we dress it up. So that's why people to me are very interesting. I study them. Not like I'm on some surveillance type thing and they're a subject and I'm better than them and I'm got them under the scope. No. I study so I can learn how to, it's like a fighter going in with different sparring partners. That if this fight, I'm fighting a short guy shorter than me and he's powerful, but he's a little slow. The sparring partners I'm going to get to train for this guy is going to be similar type. If I'm fighting a lanky guy with a long arm and a long whip-like left jab, and he's 6'4", I can't train with the sparring partners that are 5'4" and 5'5". That tall guy might be so fast, and he may not have any power, but he's fast. How am I going to reach his jaw? How am I going to break him down? We know I got to work the body and get inside. You don't see that for a while, but it'll weaken them for the later rounds when you go for the knockout. But what I'm saying is that we have to approach different people different ways. And we have to be able to assess. And if we don't have any social experience in dealing with multiple people, we can't assess at that particular moment who they are. And it's very difficult because people put up different fronts. They see you and put up a certain shield to appease you. How many times have we seen, like me being a man, right? When I was a younger man, out in Queens, New York, and you go to a different neighborhood that you may not dominate the population. You go up and down, let's say, what's the boulevard? Down through Howard Beach. Oh God, I'm forgetting already. And you go to a pizza joint and they say, hey, my man. Hey, blood, what's good? Because they're watching them blaxploitation movies and they think the way to relate to you is to say that, but that's not what they really want to say. I'm not saying they're racist or whatnot, but they may not know how to deal to assess that maybe I'm not a hood rat or limited in my thinking. People have placed that on me. Oh, he's just dumb and strong and I'm a lot more than that. But if you want to think that of me, I'm going to use that to run circles around you. I have nothing to prove. Sometimes it's good to shut up and let them think something about you. At the crucial moment, you rise to the occasion and they see different and they've got to assess what they thought of you. I don't have nothing to prove to nobody to prove to you I'm this or that. You'll see what I am over time. And that's our problem. That's our problem. And there's so many of us trying to rip us off. So many of us that are so jealous of each other. There are people I found out, down to the years, man, that person jealous of you. Why? I got debts like them. I got to pay bills. I got to work like them. Why are they jealous of me? Man, you be on YouTube. What? Last time I checked, getting on YouTube is free. What you talking about? Don't be mad if the gym is free and I got in shape and you didn't when you could have went. Don't be mad when you in the cake and ice cream section, tater chips, all that stuff, and I'm trying to watch my stuff. I may do something once a week. But don't be mad at somebody who put the work in. Learn from the example. They lead by example. Even if they're an enemy to you, you see what they do. Don't you think Russia spies on the U.S. and the U.S. spies on Russia and the U.S. don't spy on China and the U.S. and Korea spying on each other? A craft drops in on native soil and they go and break it down. Let's see how they made this. Let's see their technology. You can do it too, whatever it is you want to do, even if it's not a YouTube page. This is something I do. This is an extension of me. Jack Griffin can tell you, I like to run my mouth. As long as you're getting something from it and being entertained. I'll be the class clown, make you laugh. I like to make people laugh, make them think. Cross Bay Bull. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Broderick. I'm thinking all kind of things. Yeah, Cross Bay. You got that first little bridge. You go a little bit. Then that long road where people are fishing and whatnot. Then you get the other bridge. You go out to Rockaway Playland when it used to be out there. Wow. Beach Channel High School. I remember sometime when my father didn't want to really go far to fish because we'd go upstate at this lake called Sebago Lake. And it was a pretty big lake. And it had sand like it was part of the beach. It was big. Had good fishing up there. So sometimes let's go on down by Reese Park. And we go right there at the base of that second bridge that when you're in that part of Rockaway. And I remember being there and I remember watching the rats run up and down on the construction site of Beach Channel High School. And it wasn't even built yet, but they had all the bricks lined up. And the next year, you know, over time, they're working on it. And I love seeing that bridge and just pulling up some fish from there. And it wasn't somewhere, oh, we got to bring back all this fish because we're hungry. It was a sport thing. And every time I heard the song the other day too. Whenever you need it, I'll be there. I'll be around. And that song, it was playing, was it like 1972 or something, 73? But that song forever takes me back to being right there. And that was around the time when Beach Channel High School was built. Maybe I'm off by a year or two. But when I hear that song, it takes me right back. My father had a little joint compound bucket that was cleaned out, and we catch the fish and throw them in there. And there were bait shops along Cross Bay Boulevard. Thanks for the recall there again, Broderick. Thank you. I've been so many places. Not that I'm world traveled. I'm not. I'm basically East Coast traveled. Now I'm in Africa, right? What's that? But traveled meaning that with experiences with people, human beings, human nature, that's my traveling. You know, because you can go far and wide because human nature, no matter where you go, it's similar. So you go to a different country, you may not know the language, but you see certain things that play merely by an expression on their face. Say, okay, I know what that look means. It goes beyond language and culture, you know? Amazing. I did not know I was going to talk this long. I said after the 5-hour show last night, I did not know I was going to go 2 hours and 32 minutes. I want to keep on going, but I want to talk about some New York City stuff tomorrow night, some decadent worlds we're going to travel through. I've got to be up for that. And Mr. SCURV is going to be up doing the garden, watering the plants tomorrow, and I'm probably going to sacrifice and get up early and go with her. If I do, I'll get some footage, but I keep telling her, don't leave so early. Give it 2 more hours. I'll come with you. I wake up and I'm like, man, I knew I heard her leave. She's gone. And I turn around and go right back into bed. But yeah, I do want to get some footage up there and stuff like that. But yeah, everything's working out good. There are many angels that have come into my life, who have blessed me. Several of them are here. I won't mention any names, but all of you are. And I don't mean angels in the European sense. I will talk this way in the hoteps. What you mean by that, man? You talking about angels, man? What, you got a Christmas tree with an angel on top? Not talking that way, but you know, we know what we're talking about. If you want me to set the record straight, I will. Then you'll know, oh, he knew what time it is. But I'll speak a certain way. I'll be around. Yes. Yes. I'll be around. Dun, 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 dun. I'm going to play that tonight after I get off the show. See me? I say I'm weird, but I know I'm not weird. I have a very complex brain. And I wake up hearing music. First of all, I hear music in my head all the time. Very faint. Like, you know, when you have a picture-in-picture television screen, and it's that little picture. Well, I'm watching the big screen, doing what I do through the day, but there's music playing in my head. And the only way for me to get that out of my head is to play the daggone thing and just vibe with it, and I don't hear it no more. So maybe that's mental illness on my side. But it's not like I hear voices. I will let you know. Like, listen, I'm going to take a couple weeks off from this YouTube thing because I'm really hearing something else. Voices inside my head. Right? That's, you know, it is what it is. I love life. I love people. I love my people. You know, we have rough challenges sometimes, but like I always say, and my personal saying is to say that, you know, to enjoy the sweet, you have to taste the sour. Now, how do you know it's sweet if you never tasted what's sour? Right? What if everything was sour? You wouldn't know sweet. That's the beauty of lemonade. You don't put too much lemon juice in, but you put enough to have that confusion on your taste buds, just the right amount. And so that's what it is. The sour makes the sweeter sweeter, and the sweeter leaves you with enough fortitude to know that the sour is not going to last too long. You understand? So that's how I get through. And it's a little deeper than that, but just want to thank you all for the energy that you share with me. And, you know, oh no, they'll throw me off the stage. But if I go there and shake, they're like, you're going to throw him off the stage? I'm not going to do that thing. You know what I mean? He might break off and, I hear music in the streets. Yes, I hear the funky beat. Oh, yeah, you're doing it now, right? Now I'll go up there and tell jokes or something like that. And go up there and do my perfect imitation of Farrakhan. They'll be like, listen, just let them do it. Let's not reject them. We don't want the Nation of Islam coming for us. Yeah, set it off. And when I hear set it off in my head, or I hear it, when I actually hear it, it's the part that goes, that part there, I'm like, oh man, set it off. Yeah, I'm gonna play some music tonight. I wish YouTube didn't have that foolishness going on with this copyright thing. Man, this show would be blazing because when I play music, it unearths memories in my head. And it's like, it opens up portals to things, not that I forgot, but, you know, it makes it easy. It just pops up at me. There's a whole lot, I'm telling you. I have so much more to look forward to, yes, and I'm not speaking past tense, like, we don't like the way Lance is speaking because he's talking like it's all over. It's never over when you do right. But at this point, I have to thank that one that afforded me to be here in the Creator. Thanks for all these wonderful memories that I can share. I loved it, even the unpleasant things that have taught me things. I'm righteously humble enough to say those things help me to enjoy the sweet. And if I could bring some sweet to you, or even a little bit of sour without being so sour to you, I break it down where you understand that I'm doing my job to recycle these things, you know, because there's a lot inside of me. And I have to thank those who are here with us and those who may not be with us on this level who have fed into me things to help me be better, because we're like a collage of all of those people who have fed into us, whether they knew it or not. And I've been exposed to a whole lot, trust me. Like I always tell people, my eyeballs have seen everything. And I don't mean every single situation on the world, but pretty much everything I've seen. And it's affected me, and it's let me know that we're only here for a time, and we have to do what we have to do to put our candle out there. Like when they say it doesn't hurt a candle to light another one. One candle can light 1,000 candles and still maintain its flame. So if it's done right. Now, if you try to use me and get over on me, I'm not a dumb candle now, right? But I'm giving that way because I know my flame will continue on, and that's what we're supposed to do. Give back. Some of us can give back millions. Some of us can give back comfort. Some of us could make a person laugh and make them forget their troubles. Whatever it is that you have to give back, it's vital that you do so. Because like I always say, we may not have the role of every tool in the toolbox. You know, that hammer and that screwdriver, it's always going to be used, especially the hammer. But you might be that a voltage meter, right? It doesn't get used all the time, but you carry it around in the toolbox. But when it's time for you to use that voltage meter, right? The hammer can't do its job. It can't do that job. The screwdriver can't do that job. So you have a special mission, whether you're appreciated a lot or not. So I feel appreciated at this point in my life. Not that I never did, but I know why I went through so much, and I embrace all of it because it made me who I am today. And I still need a lot of improvement. I am not perfect. I'm not saying I'm going to be. I'm shooting for it as a goal, knowing I'm not going to be there perfect, because there's only one perfect entity, right? But let's strive to be better incrementally a day that we were before. And don't let no hater stop you from that. Don't let any doubt, depression, no demon coming at you with compliments, or at least dropping seeds of doubt in there. You know, I'm concerned for you. You've been looking quite well the last few months, but these last few weeks, is something going on with you? And I'm not saying the person who says that is a hater, but that's how a lot of haters operate. Try to make you go home and, do I look like I lost weight? I do look a little, and there's nothing there like that. But be straight up. The straight up people in your life, like your Lance. Like, see, if Jack Griffin tells me something, Lance, this is what it is. I'm submitting to it because Jack Griffin is not going to lie to me. He's a straight up guy. And he loves me in a hetero manner. And he wouldn't want to see any bad come to me, just the same way. As crazy as I've been in my life in certain areas, if I say, hey, listen, this is sincere, this is what I see. I'm not trying to stir up any whatever. So when you have people in your life like that, you're truly blessed. Forget about Christmas. Forget about, Valentine's Day, this person did. Forget about all of that stuff. Who can ride and die with you every single day where you can tell them all kind of things about your life and they still love you? What about that? What about that? So anyway, I'm going to play a little music. We will be back on tomorrow night. I'll try to be on time. I was late tonight. We put a little 2 hours and 41 minutes in and did 5 hours. I like to do the time thing. I want to do more of that. I look like an oily Mexican jumping bean right now. That's why I didn't show my face. I didn't feel like the lights in my face. I just felt like that. But to be more footage, more stuff. And from the heart, any topic that you want us to talk about, we'll talk about. Giant game. Thank you. I'm nuts, but I'm going to be right there on point. You know what I mean? Like, I've done so much and been through so much, but when it's time, I'm going to do you all proud. Trust and believe that. Understand that. Yes. And all the names that Raw Reality's mentioned, all our regulars, all our, I love y'all. And like I said, anytime you want to have a show on something, you may want to get on, or you may say, Lance, we have to talk about this, but I don't feel like going on Front Street. Tell me. I'm Mikey. Mikey will do it. Right? Mikey will do it. Yes, indeed. Yes, Ren H. Yes, mix genre faves, Giant Gain, Oyala, Master Glam, Willie C. Holman Jr., Gifty, Sine. I'm going to sleep good tonight because I had a good one tonight with y'all. Yes. Sister Miko, Queen Midas, Broderick. Thanks for that Cross Bay Boulevard reminder. I was going to go on a map and say, listen, I forgot it, but I got to, I'm like that dude of Delroy Lindo when he was playing the numbers guy in Malcolm X when he was old after the stroke. And he was like, Malcolm, did I really miss out on that number? Here he is old on his way out and it still bothered him. I'm like that in a little way, Like I always tell you, if you ever go on LANCESCURV.com and read an article or something and see a typo, please tell me where the typo is. It would drive me crazy. Yes, we love you. I love you. I love you all. Thank you so much. I'm going to wrap it down. I'm going to be up for a little 20 minutes or whatever. Because after I do a show talking like this, it's like running a marathon. You can't stop. You better jog in place. So I'm not going to talk to myself, but I'm going to play some music. I know the songs I'm going to play, right? And we have some fun tomorrow night. Tell some funny stories and just make it happen. But anyway, you all have a good night, and I will see you all tomorrow. Much, much love. Much love.
All that I have left on memory. make you go. I get in my way, never out of my way. Like you the one in the morning. So what it's gonna be? Take water, go deep. Riding on a deep, got what you need. Baby, won't you keep me company? Something to do when I get home. I got something for you when we get home. If you let me put it down, when I hit the town, you should lie on me. If your mind's on me, on try, baby. I think you should side with me. Say solid one time, if you lie on me. Just promise you never lie to me. Keep the means on top, cause I know it's all up. Everything good, get the vibes on crush. I know it's all, know it's all. Know it's all, know it's all. Know it's all, know it's all. I've been feeling like a motherfucking man. Can't nobody do it like I can. They fattest in the lattice in the land. Body turn your nigga to a fan. I made it where I'm at on my own. Had a couple blocks in the road. I get to the bag on the low. I look down the stacks while they roll. Yeah, you know me, baby, won't you keep me company? Give me something to do when I get lonely. I got something for you when we get home. If you let me put it down, when I come in town, you should. On me, try, baby, I think you should side with me. Say solid when it's time, if you lie to me. Just promise you never lie to me. Keep the meetings on tuck, I know it's all. Everything good, keep the vibes on touch. I know it's all, know it's all. Know it's all, know it's all. She wanna know me, I low key, I'll cast no bricks, baby, let them hoes see. Body on 10, my girl, I get in my way, never out of my way. Like you want, I don't care, it's getting too late. I want you and I can't wait. Don't wanna spend a minute without you. I know you feel baby, won't you keep me close? So come on, give me love, I'll show you how to move with my body. Come hit me with your touch. And make me wanna stay. Keep your minds on me. On try, baby, I think you should side with me. Ain't nothing I won't do for your body. Just promise you never lie to me. Keep the moves on tuck. I know it's all up. I know I was a baby. And come give me love. Know it's all my baby. So come give me love. I never felt nothing quite like this. I get high every time we kiss. Can't get enough. I've been feeling like a motherfucking man. Can't nobody do it like I can. When I'm with you, my legs go weak. I made it where I'm at, just skip the beat. I didn't hope that this is man is getting so strong. Like for the morning, I'll be all night long. Yeah, you know me, baby, won't you keep me calm? You're the one that I want. So come and give me love. I'ma show you how to move with my body. Come give me with your touch and make me wanna try, baby. I think you should side with me. Ain't calling no time, you like it. Ain't nothing I won't do, I won't do for your body. So give me all you got right now. I know I'm yours, baby. So come give me love. I know you're mine, baby. So come give me love. I never felt nothing quite like this. I get high every time when you kiss. Can't get enough, baby. So come give me love. All of your love, won't you love me till away, take it away. Feels so good. Chilling all day, all in your face is where I wanna be. You're in this room, what did you do? Did you do? Just to get love, cause good. I've been trying to, but you don't let me something wrong for you. It's all true. Asking for help, but don't choose to work for me. Yeah. You ordained it, feel like okay. Never leave my thoughts alone. You're the reason I'm going out. I just without thinking about you. All that great when you're away, nights are sleepless. Maybe you're great, what you're my weakness. Give it love, the love that we make. It's my favorite job. So caught up in your love. I've been trying to get, but you won't let me. Something in my brain holds you. I've been thinking about myself, asking for help, but nothing seems to work on you. Yeah, you're always in till I go, yeah. You'll never leave my thoughts alone, yeah. You're the reason I'm going out. I just love to get out, yeah. Got feeling so type of way. You make you wanna stay in all day. You're the reason I can't get out of bed. I just want to get about you. I'm just want to get about you. I just want to get about you. I just want to get about you. I just want to get about you.
Hey, this is Oscar Goya. You're listening to the LANCESCURV show.
For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real,